Li Mei's Sword of Destiny. Chapter 1733. What do you mean? Tang Hai was stunned. Zhao Tai, this bastard actually attacked him? Tang Hai quickly began to retreat and transmitted his voice. Bastard, it's me. I know it's you. Zhao Tai secretly said. Then why did you kill me? Tang Hai said angrily. Zhao Tai's eyes flashed with a hint of ridicule as he secretly said. This is the young master's order. I can only obey. What? The young master asked you to kill me? Tang Hai was furious. That's right. Zhao Tai transmitted his voice. Tang Hai glanced at Qin Feiyong in the distance and secretly said angrily, Why? Did I do something wrong? The young master said that you're a little unreliable. I think what the young master said makes sense. A guy who doesn't dare to show his true face is definitely not a good person. Zhao Tai said. What the hell? Just because of this. Tang Hai was very depressed. Yes. Don't make a futile struggle. You know what the young master is capable of. If he wants to kill you, it's useless even if you hide in the sky. Zhao Tai secretly said. Bastard. Since you're heartless, don't blame me for being unjust. I'll immediately tell Zhuge Mingyang and the others my identity. Tang Hai said angrily. Oh no. This is too much. Zhao Tai's heart trembled as he hurriedly said. Don't be impulsive. I'm just joking with you. Why don't you think the young master will kill you for this reason? Joking? Tang Hai was stunned and immediately flew into a rage. He secretly shouted, Is this the time to joke? Instead of retreating, he rushed toward Zhao Tai. Don't use your divine power. Zhuge Mingyang knows the state preceptor well. If he sees that your divine power is different from the state preceptor, he will definitely find out that you're an imposter. Zhao Tai hurriedly said. Nonsense. Do I need you to remind me of such a simple thing? What's the young master's plan? Tang Hai was furious and threw a punch at Zhao Tai. Kill Mu Nanfeng. Kill him in one blow. Zhao Tai thought to himself as he threw a punch at Tang Hai with all his might. He did not use any divine power, but their eyes were filled with murderous intent. Those who didn't know would really think that they had some kind of blood feud. Boom! The two fists collided. Both of them spat out a mouthful of blood at the same time and were sent flying. Zhao Tai shouted, This is your chance. Mu Nanfeng, quick! I don't need you to remind me. I know. A cold light flickered in Mu Nanfeng's eyes as he teleported in front of Tang Hai and slammed his palm onto Tang Hai's chest. His quasi-divinity force surged as he roared, Go to hell! After Zhao Tai stabilized his body, he immediately rushed over murderously. Mu Nanfeng thought that Zhao Tai was going to help kill Tang Hai and let his guard down slightly. This was exactly what Zhao Tai wanted. Just as Mu Nanfeng's palm landed on Tang Hai's chest, Zhao Tai arrived beside Mu Nanfeng. The rusty axe appeared in an instant. He grabbed the axe and looked directly at Mu Nanfeng's head. A deadly sense of danger engulfed Mu Nanfeng. Immediately, he sensed that something was wrong, but it was too late for him to realize it now. The axe fell. Although it was rusty, its edge was extremely terrifying. Ah! Accompanied by a terrified scream, Mu Nanfeng's head was chopped off on the spot. Blood spurted out a few meters away and dyed the void red. His target is actually Mu Nanfeng. Mu Tianyang, Wang Yuanshan, the three divine marquises, and Zhuge Mingyang were dumbfounded when they saw this unforeseen event. First, they all thought that Zhao Tai's target was the national master. However, they never thought that this was just a show put on by Zhao Tai. Well done. Qin Feiyong murmured. Zhao Tai looked at Mu Nanfeng, who had fallen down and was in a daze at this moment. I actually killed a god of war. Although he was the one who chopped off Mu Nanfeng's head, he still couldn't get used to this scene, because this was the first time in his life that he had killed a god of war. Tang Hai glanced at Mu Nanfeng's body and looked at Zhao Tai. He transmitted his voice, Does it feel good? Good, very good. This is a completely different feeling from killing a false god, Zhang Xian said. Zhao Tai secretly said. His arm that was holding the axe was trembling. This wasn't fear. It was excitement. Enjoy it well. After all, when you kill more in the future, you won't feel this way anymore. Tang Hai whispered to Zhao Tai as he rushed towards Zhao Tai aggressively. Still want to fight? Zhao Tai was stunned. Tang Hai secretly said, "Of course I have to put on a show." Bang! 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 The two immediately engaged in a fierce battle in the void. However, although it looked fierce, the two of them didn't suffer any fatal injuries. "Qin Feiyang, you damn bastard. What good will it do you to kill Mu Nanfeng?" At this moment, Mu Tianyang also came back to his senses and turned to look at Qin Fian. No matter what, the state preceptor and Zhuge Mingyang are also people of the great Qin. If I want to deal with someone, I will definitely deal with you first. Qin Feiyang said lightly. Brother Qin is indeed a reasonable person. Zhuge Mingyang laughed. Qin Feiyang took a step forward and landed behind Mu Tianyang. He looked at Zhuge Mingyang and said, "I will hold Mu Tianyang back. You take care of the 3 divine marquises and Wang Yuanshan." Zhuge Mingyang glanced at Wang Yuanshan and the other 3 and sneered. "As long as we don't have that heaven-defying divine artifact, killing them is as easy as killing dogs. But before that, can you ask Zhao Tailai to stop?" "No." Qin Feiyang shook his head. "What do you mean? Don't you know that with our strength it is impossible to kill Mu Tianyang?" Zhuge Mingyang said angrily. "Of course I know." Qin Feiyang said. "Then why are you doing this? If Zhao Tailai stops fighting with the ancestor and comes over to help us, then even if Mu Tianyang hides in a divine artifact, we can still easily take care of him." Zhuge Mingyang shouted. "Do you think I don't know what your ancestor is like? If he really comes over, he might stab me in the back. So for safety reasons, let Zhao Tailai play with him over there." Qin Feiyang sneered and waved his hand. The ancient castle appeared. Boom! The power of the 3 false gods surged out, and the ancient castle immediately released a world-destroying might. He didn't waste any more words with Zhuge Mingyang. He grabbed the ancient castle and threw it at the blood blade. "Bastard!" Zhuge Mingyang cursed and also looked at Wang Yuanshan and the other 3. "Qin Feiyang, you forced me to do this." Mu Tianyang laughed angrily. He controlled the blood blade and fearlessly chopped towards the ancient castle. He then shouted at Wang Yuanshan and the other 3, "The 4 of you, no matter what method you use, you must kill Zhuge Mingyang for me." "What?" The 4 of them turned pale. They thought that Mu Tianyang would choose to retreat in the face of Zhuge Mingyang and Qin Feiyang. Even if he didn't retreat, he would send them to a divine artifact first. After all, they were no match for Zhuge Mingyang. However, they didn't expect that not only did Mu Tianyang not do that, but he also asked them to kill Zhuge Mingyang. What was the difference between this and asking them to die? They also felt aggrieved. No matter what, they were veteran semi-divinities, yet they were actually so fearful of a junior. Mu Tianyang glanced at the 4 and said word by word, "Kill him even if you have to self-destruct." Self-destruct. The 4 of them trembled. "You don't want to go? Then I'll cripple you now. Anyway, you're just a bunch of trash, I don't need you." Mu Tianyang's face became extremely ferocious. The 4 of them suddenly trembled and shouted, "Zhuge Mingyang, come with us if you have the guts." The 4 of them immediately ran away. "A bunch of trash, how dare you shout at me?" Zhuge Mingyang calmly chased after them, his face full of disdain. Wang Yuanshan looked back at Zhuge Mingyang and said, "3 divine overlords, do you have any ideas? Zhuge Mingyang's false god power is strange, but we can resist it if we work together. The only thing we're worried about is his war soul. His war soul's talent is too terrifying. Once it engulfs us, we'll definitely die." The 3 divine overlords said, their eyes full of wariness. Wang Yuanshan said, "But Mu Tianyang said that we have to kill him. There's only one way." One of the divine overlords said, "What way?" The 3 of them turned to look at him. The deity overlord said, "Although Zhuge Mingyang's innate divine ability is terrifying, it is limited by distance. As long as we don't fight him in close combat and maintain a certain distance, his innate divine ability will not affect us." Wang Yuanshan's eyes lit up and said, "That's right, use a divine art to wear him down. Our cultivation isn't any weaker than his, we can wear him down." "Let's do that." The 3 divine overlords nodded. In the blink of an eye, clang! The ancient castle and the blood blade, the 2 heaven-defying divine artifacts, finally clashed. The moment they met, dazzling sparks burst out. The destructive aura was earth-shattering, shattering the void for thousands of miles. Fortunately, Wang Yuanshan and the other three had foresight and didn't fight with Zhuge Mingyang. Otherwise, the aura alone would have been enough to injure them. Young Master and Mu Tianyang are finally going to fight. Zhao Tailai turned to look at Qin Feiyang and murmured, "Don't look over there, your opponent is me." Tang Hai raised his eyebrows. "Opponent? We're just putting on an act." Zhao Tailai rolled his eyes. "Although it's just an act, I'd like to see which of us is the young master's #1 warrior?" Tang Hai said. "What do you mean? You really want to fight with me?" Zhao Tailai was stunned and frowned. "You don't dare?" Tang Hai looked at him provocatively. What a joke. In this world, is there anything that I, Zhao Tailai, don't dare to do? But before we fight, can I ask you a question? Zhao Tailai thought. What question? Tang Hai was suspicious. Zhao Tailai said, "Is it really like what the young master said? Is it because you're too ugly that you don't dare to show your true face?" "I'm ugly?" Tang Hai was stunned and said, "Are you sure this is what the young master said?" "Yes, that's what the young master guessed." Zhao Tailai chuckled. "How boring." Tang Hai snorted and stared at Zhao Tailai saying, "Cut the crap, come on. For the title of the #1 warrior, I won't lose to you." Zhao Tailai smiled proudly. Bang! Bang! The two of them continued to collide in the void, causing the void to collapse and even the heavens and earth to lose their color. Looking at the situation, they weren't putting on an act. The power contained in each of their punches was enough to seriously injure the other party. Although they didn't use the false god's power, divine skills or fighting souls, their battle was more exciting than the battle between Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang. Chapter 1734. On the other side, the battle between Zhuge Mingyang and Wang Yuanshan and the other three had also begun. As planned, the four of them had been keeping a safe distance from Zhuge Mingyang. When Zhuge Mingyang advanced, they retreated. When Zhuge Mingyang retreated, they advanced. They used their divine arts and fighting souls to fight a war of attrition with Zhuge Mingyang. Don't say. This method of fighting was quite effective. Zhuge Mingyang had been in a passive state of defense. Although his divine powers could also weaken the power of his divine arts and fighting souls, he did not dare to use them casually in a war of attrition. Because the divine powers came from the fighting souls, the fighting souls could not be used for a long time and would eventually be exhausted. The same went for the divine powers. Therefore, he had to save them for the critical moment. As a result, Zhuge Mingyang was in a very sullen situation. He had the ability to kill the four of them in seconds, but he had to slowly wear them down. Clang! Clang! The battle between Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang had also reached its climax. The two heaven-defying artifacts collided with each other under the control of the two. The mountains and rivers shattered and the earth sank. Mu Tianyang was really angry. Mu Tianjuan's divine body was stolen. A divine lord was killed. Mu Nanfeng, the god of war, was also killed by Zhao Tailai. It was a heavy loss. In fact, Mu Tianyang could have escaped, but his pride did not allow him to do so. Moreover, Mu Tianjuan's divine body was still in Tang Hai's hands. In other words, even if he wanted to escape, he had to take back Mu Tianjuan's divine body first. As the power of the false god and divine sense kept pouring in, the power of the two divine weapons became more and more terrifying. Mu Tianyang sneered. "You're just a false god. It's too difficult for you to recover the divine weapons. Even if you have 3 kinds of false god power, you can't defeat me. Give up. Your situation is worse than mine. Even if the quasi-divinity energy is exhausted, it can still recover in a short period of time. As for the divine sense you've consumed, if you want to recover," He Qin Feiyang grinned. The meaning behind his words was obvious. He was not afraid of wasting time. Mu Tianyang's heart sank. This was exactly what he was thinking about. It was easy for him to recover his quasi-divinity energy, but it would take him a very long time to gather even a sliver of his spiritual perception. He couldn't afford to waste time, but now he had no other choice. If he didn't take back Mu Tianjun's divine body, he would definitely be killed by the Grand Tutor. In fact, he had never wanted to confront Qin Feiyang head-on. Because Qin Feiyang also had a heaven-defying divine artifact, if they really fought, it would definitely be a situation where both sides would suffer. That was why he had planned to snatch Mu Tianjuan's divine body and retreat immediately. However, he never expected that the imperial tutor would appear midway. What was even more unexpected was that Qin Feiyang would actually team up with Zhuge Mingyang. Such a situation was extremely unfavorable for him, and to reverse this situation, the only way was to break the alliance between Qin Feiyang and Zhuge Mingyang. But how could he break the alliance between the two of them? Right. The fiend ancestor. This person is the best fuse. Mu Tianyang's eyes lit up. While controlling the bloody blade to fight with the castle, he said, "How much do you know about the fiend ancestor?" Qin Feiyang was startled and thought, "I've only heard rumors about him." "Then do you know how he died?" Mu Tianyang asked. "It's said that he was killed by a trap set by two gods of war." Qin Feiyang frowned slightly. He couldn't figure out why Mu Tianyang suddenly mentioned the fiend ancestor. "Then do you know who those two gods of war are?" Mu Tianyang asked again. "I don't know." Qin Feiyang shook his head. Mu Tianyang said, "I'll tell you now, those two gods of war are my ancestor and your ancestor." "What?" Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled. This answer was simply too surprising. The fiend ancestor was actually killed by the ancestor and Mu Tianyang? Back then, when my Tianyang Empire ruled the mountains and rivers and was at the peak of its glory, the fiend ancestor suddenly appeared. At that time, he stirred up trouble and committed all kinds of crimes, killing countless living beings. As the emperor of the Tianyang Empire at that time, I naturally couldn't stand by and do nothing. After finding the fiend ancestor's lair, I immediately led dozens of martial marquis of the Tianyang Empire and charged into the fiend ancestor's lair. But at this point, between Mu Tianyang's brows crawled up a painful expression. Qin Feiyang frowned and asked, "The fiend ancestor's lair is in the Sea of Reincarnation?" "That's right. His lair is in the deepest part of the Sea of Reincarnation." At that time, the dozens of martial marquis that I brought were all pseudo-god level existences. Originally, I was full of confidence and thought that with this strength, I would definitely be able to get rid of the fiend ancestor. But when the battle broke out, I realized that I was too wrong. The strength of the fiend ancestor and the demon dragon was simply beyond imagination. Dozens of martial marquis were instantly annihilated. Not a single one was left. At that time, I had already stepped into the war god realm, but in the end, I was still able to escape with the help of the blood blade. Mu Tianyang said in a deep voice. "So strong." Qin Feiyang's mind trembled. Even Mu Tianyang, who possessed a heaven-defying divine artifact, and had already stepped into the war god realm, could only escape? Qin Feiyang asked, "Then what about my ancestor at that time?" "At that time, your ancestor had already risen, and his strength was on par with mine. But at that time, the war between him and me had yet to completely erupt. That time, when I failed to eliminate the fiend ancestor, I fled from the Sea of Reincarnation. But because the losses were too heavy, many elders and ministers in the imperial court were quite dissatisfied with me, and the foundation of the Heaven and Earth Empire slowly began to shake. It was also at that time that I thought of your ancestor. To be honest, at that time your ancestor and I were just like you and Mu Qing in the past." Mu Tianyang said. "Me and Mu Qing?" Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows. "Yes, both enemies and friends. I clearly remember that when I found your ancestor and told him about the fiend ancestor's situation, he didn't say anything and joined forces with me to enter the Sea of Reincarnation. At that time my second brother, Mu Tianjun, also went with us," Mu Tianyang said. "This is not beyond my expectations. With my ancestor's personality, he definitely wouldn't sit back and do nothing," Qin Feiyang said. "Yes, your ancestor is the person I hate the most in my life, but also the person I admire the most." Mu Tianyang sighed deeply and said, "Your ancestor, my second brother, and I entered the Sea of Reincarnation. After some discussion, we set up a killing trap." "What kind of killing trap?" Qin Feiyang asked. Clang! The bloody blade and the ancient castle were still fighting, and the sky was falling and the earth was cracking, as if doomsday had arrived. Mu Tianyang looked up at the bloody blade, as if he was immersed in his memories. After a long while, he transmitted his voice. "My second brother is the core of this assassination plot." "Mu Tianjun?" Qin Feiyang asked. "Yes. The first step was for my second brother to lure away the fiend ancestor's mount, the fiend dragon. Because the fiend dragon's strength was almost on par with the fiend ancestor. If we didn't separate them, we wouldn't have any hope of killing the fiend ancestor. At that time, my second brother's cultivation was about the same as mine and your ancestors, but the fatal thing was that he didn't have a heaven-defying divine artifact. You can imagine how dangerous my second brother's situation was at that time. However, when your ancestor and I proposed this plan, my second brother didn't say much. In the end, he succeeded in luring the fiend dragon away, giving your ancestor and I enough time to kill the fiend ancestor, even though we had to pay a great price for it. To be honest, my second brother was the real hero at that time. Mu Tianyang sighed. What price? Qin Feiyang asked. Mu Tianyang said. His divine soul was almost destroyed, and in the end, he had to use his flame of life to save his life. Qin Feiyang said. In terms of that battle, your second brother is indeed admirable. Yes. Without the fiend dragon, the pressure on your ancestor and I was a lot less. At that time, your ancestor and I each had a heaven-defying divine artifact. You might think that with two heaven-defying divine artifacts, wouldn't it be easy to kill the fiend ancestor? Mu Tianyang said. Qin Feiyang nodded. He knew the power of a heaven-defying divine artifact better than anyone. For example, although he was only a false god with the Changshui and the castle, he could fight against the god of war and not be at a disadvantage. Your ancestor and I thought so too. We would definitely get rid of the fiend ancestor quickly. But in fact it was the opposite. The fiend ancestor also had a heaven-defying divine artifact. Your ancestor and I fought with him for a few days and nights in the reincarnation ocean. In the end, we were almost exhausted and finally crushed the fiend ancestor's divine soul. Mu Tianyang sighed. What? He also had a heaven-defying divine artifact. Qin Feiyang was shocked. That's right. I remember that his heaven-defying divine artifact was a snowflake. And like my blood blade, it emitted a pungent stench. Mu Tianyang said. Snowflake? Qin Feiyang was surprised. Yes. When your ancestor and I saw that snowflake, we were also very surprised. How could a snowflake be a heaven-defying divine artifact? But in fact, it is a heaven-defying divine artifact. Mu Tianyang said. Qin Feiyang asked curiously, speaking of which, what's with the stench of your blood blade? Mu Tianyang's mouth twitched and said with a wry smile, it's funny. You definitely won't believe it. What? Qin Feiyang became more and more curious. Mu Tianyang said. I found it in a cesspool. What the hell? Cesspool? Qin Feiyang was shocked. Are you kidding? How could a heaven-defying divine artifact be in a cesspool? I told you, you definitely won't believe it. But this is absolutely true. I remember at that time it was sealed in that cesspool. After so many years, the stench still hasn't dissipated. I don't know how many years it has been sealed. To be honest, if it wasn't for the fact that it's a heaven-defying divine artifact, I wouldn't want to keep it by my side. Mu Tianyang said helplessly. So that's how it is. Qin Feiyang suddenly understood. He raised his head and looked at the blood blade. He couldn't help but want to laugh. A heaven-defying divine artifact was actually sealed in a cesspool? This was more than funny. But then again, who was so wicked? One had to know. Chapter 1735. Achoo! The third floor of the miracle. In an ancient palace, a sneeze suddenly sounded. Inside the hall, a divine dragon was lying on the ground. It was only a meter long, and its entire body seemed to be condensed from ice. Its entire body was filled with a bone-piercing chill. That's right. This was an ice dragon. The ice dragon grabbed its claws, rubbed its nose and muttered, "Who is scolding this emperor behind my back?" Then, it turned its head to the side and saw a golden small beast napping on the ground. Beside the small beast was a dagger. It was as white as jade and extremely beautiful. The ice dragon stood up and walked to the small beast's side. It grabbed the dagger and waved it a few times. It chuckled and said, "This Changshui is indeed worthy of being a divine artifact refined by little Wutian." Little Wutian? The golden small beast opened its eyes, raised its head and glanced at the ice dragon. You actually dare to call him little Wutian? You're getting bolder and bolder. The ice dragon chuckled. Boss Frog, if you don't say it, who will know? But then again, are we going to keep sleeping here? It's so boring. Grandpa Frog didn't ask you to come. If you're bored, then scram. The golden small beast said. Boss Frog, you're too cold. The ice dragon looked at it aggrievedly. The golden small beast rolled its eyes and said suspiciously, Grandpa Frog is puzzled. Why did you come here for no reason? Isn't it because I miss you? The ice dragon said. TSK. Grandpa Frog saw that you were bored, so I wanted to have some fun. The golden small beast said. Boss Frog knows me best. The ice dragon chuckled, then said unhappily, I originally came here to have fun, but when I came here I just slept with you all day. That's too boring. The golden small beast yawned and said, I'm old, why don't I sleep? Old? The ice dragon rolled its eyes at the small beast. It lowered its head and looked at the Chong Shui on its claws, its eyes shining. The golden small beast said, Stop looking. That's not something you can have. Why? Ice dragon was confused. The golden small beast said angrily, Nonsense. Haven't you noticed that it has an owner? It has an owner? Ice dragon was stunned for a moment. His telepathic thoughts entered Chong Shui and he said in surprise, It really does have an owner. Who is its owner? The golden small beast said impatiently, Why do you talk so much nonsense? Isn't it annoying? Just tell me. Ice dragon said with a flattering smile, You know its owner. The small beast said, I know him. Ice dragon was startled. Then he asked in surprise, Who is it? He's not a big shot. The small beast said, If he's not a big shot, how could he have a divine weapon refined by little Wutian? Ice dragon was suspicious. The golden small beast said angrily, Can you be quiet and let Uncle Frog have a good sleep? Sleep for what? When you die in the future, you'll have plenty of time to sleep. Now tell me. Ice dragon urged. Yeah, you're getting bolder and bolder. You actually dare to curse Uncle Frog? The golden small beast suddenly got up and looked at Ice dragon with bad intentions. Don't. A gentleman uses his mouth and not his fists. Ice dragon quickly retreated. He kept waving his claws in panic, his eyes full of fear. We've known each other for so many years. When have you ever seen Uncle Frog being a gentleman? The golden small beast smirked. Ice dragon's body stiffened. That's right. This bastard small beast in front of him had always been the representative of shamelessness. Gentleman? It had nothing to do with him at all. And, suddenly, the golden small beast was stunned. He lowered his head and his eyes flickered. What's the situation? Ice dragon looked at the small beast suspiciously. The golden small beast suddenly grinned and looked up at Ice dragon saying, Don't you want to have fun? Uncle Frog will take you there now. But let me say it in advance. Without Uncle Frog's permission, you are not allowed to make a move, and you are not allowed to expose your whereabouts. Okay. Ice dragon nodded repeatedly. The golden small beast took back the Chong Shui and disappeared with Ice dragon. The second floor of the miracle. The three battlefields were separated. Tang Hai and Zhao Tailai were fighting for the title of the number 1 general. Their bodies were dripping with blood. Zhuge Mingyang and Wang Yuanshan's group of 4 were fighting for life and death. The situation of the battle was also beyond imagination. Wang Yuanshan's group of 4 were unscathed. Instead, it was Zhuge Mingyang who was covered in wounds and had been suppressed. The confrontation between the Bloodblade and the ancient castle had never stopped. The power of the two heaven-defying divine artifacts annihilated in all directions, causing the world to become incomparably dark. But Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang did not make a move. The two stood facing each other, looking at each other. Their clothes fluttered in the wind. At first glance, they looked like two old friends who were reminiscing about the past. Qin Feiyang said, You guys destroyed the divine soul of the demon ancestor? Yes. At that time, your ancestor and I both thought that the demon ancestor's soul had dissipated. But when I turned into Lu Xingchen and entered the imperial capital, I inadvertently found out that when that heaven-defying divine artifact escaped, it took away a wisp of the demon ancestor's soul when we were not paying attention. Mu Tianyang transmitted his voice. You already found out when you were in the imperial capital? Qin Feiyang frowned. Yes. Mu Tianyang nodded. Why didn't you tell me? Qin Feiyang said. Because you were still very weak at that time. It was useless to tell you. And I never thought that I would join forces with you to deal with the demon ancestor one day, Mu Tianyang said. I see. Your original plan was to kill me after I helped you save Mu Tianjuan's divine body? Qin Feiyang sneered. That's right. I'll kill you after I save my brother. If you die, the demon ancestor's matter will have nothing to do with you, so there's no need to tell you. But your growth is far beyond my imagination. Not only are you powerful, but you also have so many overlords around you. Now, I have to tell you these things and ask for your cooperation. You know how powerful the demon ancestor is now. If we don't cooperate, I dare say that we will die in his hands sooner or later. Mu Tianyang said solemnly. Qin Feiyang pondered for a while and said, let's put the cooperation aside first. I want to know everything about you and my ancestor. All right. After the demon ancestor died, the demon dragon came out to stir up trouble again. Your ancestor and I joined forces to kill it and sealed its body in various places. Mu Tianyang said. Why didn't you kill it completely? Why did you seal it instead? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. It's all because of your ancestor. Mu Tianyang was a little angry. My ancestor? Qin Feiyang frowned. That's right. At that time, I suggested to destroy the demon dragon's body and let its divine body be destroyed. But your ancestor said that the heavens are virtuous and wanted to seal it. In the situation at that time, I couldn't refute him, so I followed his wishes. It's only now that I understand that he did this for you. Mu Tianyang snorted. For me? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Mu Tianyang said. Isn't the demon dragon's heart in your hands right now? Qin Feiyang nodded. Mu Tianyang said. Then, do you know what benefits there will be if you fuse with these things? Fuse? Qin Feiyang was stunned. Yes. For example, Yu Huang, Black Dragon Snake, Phantom Snake Emperor, etc. If they were to fuse with the demon dragon's heart, they would immediately be reborn. Their strength would increase by several times. Mu Tianyang snorted. There's actually such a thing? Qin Feiyang was surprised. However, to fuse with these things one would need to be at least a war god. Because the demon dragon is too strong, the divine power and blood it contains are also extremely terrifying. If a beast below war god were to fuse with it, it would directly explode from the demon dragon's blood and divine power. Mu Tianyang said. So that's how it is. Qin Feiyang muttered. It seems that the ancient castle took away the demon dragon's heart, eye, claw, and so on to prevent this. But where did the ancient castle send the demon dragon's heart and the other things to? This was a question he couldn't figure out. The ancient castle was only so big. How could it hide the demon dragon's heart? Qin Feiyang shook his head and asked, what about the demon ancestor's divine body? Back then, after shattering the demon ancestor's soul, the divine body was taken away by your ancestor. Mu Tianyang said. Taken away by my ancestor? Qin Feiyang frowned. Yes. At that time I couldn't understand why he would do that. Where did he put the demon ancestor's divine body? But when I saw the 2 stone coffins sealed here, I had an uncertain answer in my heart. Mu Tianyang said in a deep voice. What answer? Qin Feiyang said. Mu Tianyang said. The thing sealed in the other stone coffin is most likely the demon ancestor's divine body. Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. Think about it. If the thing sealed in the stone coffin isn't the demon ancestor's divine body, then why would Zhuge Mingyang and the demon ancestor desire it so much? Mu Tianyang said. Qin Feiyang glanced at Tang Hai, who was fighting with Zhao Tai in the distance, and said in a deep voice, it seems that your guess is not far from the truth. That's why we have to work together. If the demon ancestor obtains the divine body and recovers his cultivation, the world will be in chaos. At that time I'm afraid that I won't even need to make a move. Your great Qin Empire will be buried in his hands. Mu Tianyang said. Qin Feiyang's divine body trembled slightly. It seems that this matter really needs to be thought about carefully. As for the grudge between your ancestor and me, it's even simpler. My heavenly son Empire can't tolerate a peerless figure like him, and he can't stand my character and actions. The grudge accumulated little by little and finally exploded. Actually, at that time, I did invite him to join the Heavenly Sun Empire and even gave him supreme status and glory. But your ancestor's temper is just that stubborn. He thought that only by eliminating me and destroying the Heavenly Sun Empire can he bring peace to the world. In the end he did it. But now, is the world really peaceful? No. There are still endless disputes. The world is like this. You can't do whatever you want. Mu Tianyang sighed. I don't know how to judge my ancestor's actions, but I believe that he must have good intentions. Qin Feiyang said. I don't deny that. But I really can't stand his character. If he was willing to listen to me back then and directly killed the demon ancestor and demon dragon, would there be so many problems now? Chapter 1736. You have to admit that it's because of my ancestor's benevolence that you're still alive today, Qin Feiyang said. If my ancestor had been ruthless enough to kill Mu Tianyang and eliminate the remnants of the Tianyang Empire, Great Qin wouldn't be facing the threat of Mu Tianyang now. Mu Tianyang was stunned and said with a wry smile, that's right. Your ancestor is really both lovable and hateful. What do you mean? Why aren't the two of them fighting? That's boring. The golden small beast and ice dragon hid their auras and stood at the top of the clouds like two invisible existences. Qin Feiyang and the others below did not notice them. The one who spoke was Ice Dragon. It looked suspiciously at Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang. They're communicating secretly. The golden small beast said. How do you know? Ice Dragon asked. I can guess it just by looking at them. Do I even need to ask? What a pig's head. The golden small beast rolled its eyes at Ice Dragon and looked down at Qin Feiyang. Do you know him? Ice Dragon was stunned. It looked down at Qin Feiyang for a moment and shook its head. I don't know him. Where did this wild onion come from? Wild onion? The corner of the golden small beast's mouth twitched. He's the owner of Chang Shui. What? Ice Dragon was surprised. The golden small beast looked at Bloodblade and said, do you still remember that guy? Ice Dragon looked over. When it saw Bloodblade, it was stunned for a moment and then immediately laughed. The golden small beast said, it seems that you still remember. Ice Dragon said, nonsense, of course I remember. I was the one who suppressed it in the latrine. If Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang heard these words, they would be scared out of their wits. If it was the one who suppressed Bloodblade, how terrifying was its strength? Ice Dragon's eyes suddenly had a trace of surprise. He looked at the castle and said, damn, this is another divine weapon that little Wu Tian made? Yes. The small beast nodded. He actually has two divine weapons personally crafted by Lil Wutian. Who is he? Ice Dragon was bewildered. The golden small beast said playfully, someone you can't afford to offend. You'll know in the future. TSK. In this world, is there anyone that I can't afford to offend? Ice Dragon had a look of disdain. Grandpa Frog is not joking with you. The small beast said. The Ice Dragon god was stunned. Seeing that the golden small beast really didn't seem to be joking, he lowered his head and carefully sized up Qin Feiyang. Below, Mu Tianyang glanced at Zhuge Mingyang in the distance, then looked at Qin Feiyang and urged, back to the topic, hurry up and decide. Do you want to cooperate or not? I think, Qin Feiyang was hesitating. Father, we're here to help you. Qin Feiyang died. Suddenly, two angry roars could be heard. Qin Feiyang and Ice Dragon God looked over at the same time. They saw two old men teleporting over from the void. It's them. Qin Feiyang's face sank. Mu Tianyang, on the other hand, was ecstatic. Because the people who came were his sons, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun. Moreover, the two of them had already stepped into the war god realm. Their aura was like a vast ocean, unfathomable. Mu Tianyang hurriedly said, don't come here. Quickly go and help Wang Yuanshan and the others to kill Zhuge Mingyang. Wang Yuanshan, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun were stunned. It's them. Mu Tianyang pointed at Wang Yuanshan, and the three divine overlords on the other side of the battlefield. Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun looked at the four of them and then looked at Zhuge Mingyang. Their eyes trembled slightly. What? Even Zhuge Mingyang had already broken through to the false god realm? And he was able to fight against four false gods alone? Shua. The two of them looked at each other and immediately charged towards Zhuge Mingyang. Zhuge Mingyang, Wang Yuanshan and the other two also looked at the two of them. Damn it. Zhuge Mingyang's face sank. Wang Yuanshan and the other three were just like Mu Tianyang. They were overjoyed. With two war gods coming to help, even Zhuge Mingyang would not be able to hold on. The four of them seemed to have been injected with chicken blood, as they did everything they could to restrain Zhuge Mingyang. The situation is not good. Tang Hai, stop fighting. At the same time, Zhao Tailai turned his head and looked at Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun. His pupils constricted as he hurriedly said to Tang Hai, "Okay, we'll fight again in the future." Tang Hai replied, "Young lord, what should we do?" Zhao Tailai sent a voice transmission to Qin Feiyang. "Don't worry, let's see the situation first. You guys continue." Qin Feiyang replied. Mu Tianyang looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Brother Qin, with Changfeng and Changyun here, we have a better chance. Hurry up and decide. Since Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun are here, I don't think we need to do anything. They can also kill Zhuge Mingyang." Qin Feiyang said, "What do you mean? Is what I said before not enough?" Mu Tianyang said, No. The demon ancestor is indeed terrifying, but you're also a dangerous person. If I really join forces with you to kill Zhuge Mingyang now, I'll be in a very bad situation when you guys attack me later." Qin Feiyang said, "So this is what you're worried about. Don't worry, as long as you don't stop me from taking back second brother's divine body, I won't do anything to you." Mu Tianyang said, "Can your words be trusted?" Qin Feiyang said, "What do you want? Compared to the demon ancestor, what's my threat to you?" Mu Tianyang said angrily, "Is that all you're a threat to me?" Qin Feiyang smiled. Mu Tianyang was so angry that he was shaking. Qin Feiyang said, "Let's wait and see. When it's time to make a move, I'll make a move." Stubborn. Mu Tianyang glared at Qin Feiyang angrily, then turned to look at Zhuge Mingyang's battlefield and said, "How about this? Anyway, we can't decide the winner if we continue fighting. Instead of wasting each other's energy, why don't we call a truce and watch from the side?" Qin Feiyang was taken aback, then nodded and smiled. Good idea. He had made a move to stall Mu Tianyang and prevent Mu Tianyang from joining the battle. After all, it was too easy to kill Zhuge Mingyang with the power of the blood blade. And now, since he didn't need to fight, he could still delay Mu Tianyang. That was naturally the best outcome. Okay, let's call a truce. Mu Tianyang decisively put away the blood blade. Qin Feiyang also immediately recalled the ancient castle. After thinking for a while, he looked at Mu Tianyang and said with a smile, "It seems too boring to just watch the battle. Why don't we drink a few cups?" Drink a few cups? Mu Tianyang was stunned. Then a row of black lines appeared on his forehead. He roared, "Do you know what the situation is now? How can you still be in the mood to drink?" "It's not drinking, it's drinking tea. I'm not interested in drinking." Qin Feiyang chuckled, took out a tea table and 2 chairs, and placed them in the void in front of him. As soon as Mu Tianyang saw the tea table and chairs, the anger in his heart became more and more uncontrollable. He said, "In this situation, what's the difference between drinking tea and drinking wine?" Qin Feiyang chuckled and sat down on the chair. He took out the tender of the blue sea and placed it on the tea table. He said with a smile, "You're too angry. You should calm down." Mu Tianyang was infuriated. Qin Feiyang slowly took out the tea leaves, and with a thought, he got some pure water from the Black Tortoise realm. He mobilized the power of the false god, turned it into a wisp of flame, and boiled the water to make tea. Little bastard. Mu Tianyang sat next to Qin Feiyang angrily and cursed in his heart. Damn, young master really knows how to enjoy life. In the distance, Zhao Tailai and Tang Hai looked at Qin Feiyang leisurely brewing tea, and their faces could not help but twitch. On the other side, Wang Yuanshan, the 3 divine marquises, and Mu Changfeng saw this scene and were speechless to the extreme. What is this bastard doing? Zhuge Mingyang was as angry as Mu Tianyang. Rumble. The battle was still ongoing. After Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng arrived at the battlefield, they did not stop and directly attack Zhuge Mingyang. Wang Yuanshan hurriedly shouted, "Be careful, don't get close to him." Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng were shocked. But it was too late. Zhuge Mingyang made a prompt decision and activated his battle soul and divine ability. Their cultivation immediately plummeted to the semi-divinity realm. What's going on? Both of them were shocked. Wang Yuanshan said. His divine ability has the ability to deprive cultivation. What? Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng were shocked. However, after the two's cultivation fell to the false god realm, it did not continue to fall. Qin Feiyang sipped his tea and laughed. It seems that Zhuge Mingyang's divine ability does not have much effect on the war god. Facing someone of the same realm, Zhuge Mingyang's divine ability could cause the opponent's cultivation to drop by 4 small realms. But facing someone with a higher cultivation than Zhuge Mingyang, the power of the divine ability would be greatly reduced. Especially the gap between the war god and the false god realm. Not much. However, hearing Qin Feiyang's words, Mu Tianyang immediately became angry. Although it only dropped by 1 small realm, do you know how big the difference between the war god and the false god realm is? Originally, with Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng's war god cultivation, it was completely enough to kill Zhuge Mingyang. But now, their cultivation had plummeted, and they were in the same enchantment as Zhuge Mingyang. Not to mention killing Zhuge Mingyang, it would be good if they could defeat him. Moreover, Zhuge Mingyang's power of the false god realm had an innate advantage. In the end, it was estimated that Mu Changfeng and Mu Tianyang would be at a disadvantage. On the battlefield, Mu Changfeng's expression froze slightly and said, "Only dropped by a small realm?" Mu Changyun said, "If it's only dropped by a small realm, then it doesn't matter." That's right. With the strength of the two of us, it's enough to kill him. Mu Changfeng nodded. Go! Mu Changyun shouted, and the two of them continued to charge towards Zhuge Mingyang. Don't underestimate him. Pay attention to his power of the false god. Seeing that Mu Changfeng and Mu Tianyang did not retreat, Wang Yuanshan hurriedly reminded them. The power of the false god? Mu Changfeng and Mu Tianyang were stunned, but they did not take it to heart. Their eyes were filled with disdain. Even if their cultivation had fallen to the false god realm, they were still 2 people. Could it be that they couldn't beat Zhuge Mingyang alone? Moreover, it was obvious that Zhuge Mingyang must have just broken through to the false god realm. How strong could he be? Qin Feiyang glanced at Mu Tianyang and laughed. I'm afraid your 2 sons will have to pay a heavy price. 2 idiots. Mu Tianyang coldly snorted, and was about to scold him. Qin Feiyang shook his head and laughed. No, since we are watching the battle, we naturally can't interrupt. Otherwise it would be boring, right? Yes, that's right. Very right. Mu Tianyang nodded, gritting his teeth and glaring at Qin Feiyang. Chapter 1737. On the battlefield in the void, Zhuge Mingyang stood in the wind. His long gray hair danced in the wind. He was motionless like the god of death. He looked at Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng with a deadly gaze. Are you scared out of your wits? You don't even know how to fight back. Die! The 2 rushed in front of Zhuge Mingyang and looked at Zhuge Mingyang with a sneer. Then they attacked with all their strength. Zhuge Mingyang looked at the 2 of them and said, You're the ones who are stupid. Swish! As soon as he finished speaking, he raised his hands at lightning speed and clenched his 5 fingers together. Then he threw a punch at the 2's palms. Boom! The fists and palms met. With a loud bang, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng were sent flying. Their arms were lacerated. How is that possible? The 2 of them turned pale with fright. They weren't Zhuge Mingyang's match? The pain from their arms made them feel incredulous. That's too much. Wang Yuanshan and the other 3 looked at each other. Although Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng's cultivation had fallen to the false god realm, their bodies were still real divine bodies. Zhuge Mingyang was only a false god realm cultivator. No matter how powerful he was, it was impossible for him to hurt their bodies. Suddenly, a terrifying thought appeared in the minds of the 4 of them. Could it be that Zhuge Mingyang's divine power could not only deprive them of their cultivation, but also the strength of their bodies? In other words, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng's bodies were no longer divine bodies. Were they also false god bodies? If that was the case, then Zhuge Mingyang's divine power was too powerful. So what if you're a god of war? In my eyes, you're just an ant. Zhuge Mingyang smiled disdainfully. He took a step forward and landed in front of Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng. His palms were like blades that went straight for their lower abdomens. The two of them shuddered and regained their senses. Then they retreated without hesitation. As long as you enter this domain, you will never be able to escape from my grasp. At this moment Zhuge Mingyang was like a god of death. With a mysterious footwork, he rushed towards the two of them with a murderous aura. Obviously, he had activated a support-type divine art. How can there be such a terrifying innate ability in this world? Mu Chongfeng and the other two also activated their support-type divine arts. Their speed was comparable to Zhuge Mingyang's, but in their hearts they were extremely anxious. This was because in order to escape from the range of Zhuge Mingyang's innate ability, one's speed had to be faster than Zhuge Mingyang. And now, their fastest speed was only comparable to Zhuge Mingyang's. This way there was no way to escape. Wang Yuanshan reminded, "The two of you can't use blink? Yeah, we can teleport." Mu Chongfeng and Mu Chun looked at each other, and a trace of excitement appeared on their faces. Teleportation? Is it really possible? Zhuge Mingyang muttered, a trace of ridicule in his eyes. "Little brat, I'll deal with you later." Mu Chongfeng and Mu Chun looked at Zhuge Mingyang and coldly said these words, then immediately turned around and teleported. However, the next moment, they froze in the air, their faces filled with shock. Unexpectedly, they were unable to teleport. What's the situation? Could it be that even the ability to teleport has been taken away? Wang Yuanshan and the other three were shocked. "You guys are too naive. My innate ability is not as weak as you think." Zhuge Mingyang snickered. While Mu Chongfeng and Mu Chun were distracted, he had already arrived behind them. "Careful!" Wang Yuanshan and the other three roared. The two regained their senses and without hesitation, moved to the side. Poochie! At the same time, blood spurted out. Zhuge Mingyang's two large hands pierced into their waists, tearing off a piece of flesh. But because Mu Chongfeng and Mu Chun reacted in time, they did not injure their chi ocean. However, the pain of having their flesh torn off caused their faces to distort, making them look extremely ferocious. "Looking down on me, Zhuge Mingyang, you will pay the price." Zhuge Mingyang gave a sinister smile. Stepping on the support technique like a ghost, he charged towards the two like lightning. "Quickly support him!" Wang Yuanshan shouted. The three divine overlords also regained their senses. The four of them activated their techniques, bringing with them the power to destroy the world as they charged towards Zhuge Mingyang. However, the technique they were so proud of, once it entered the domain of their innate ability, its power dropped several times. Even the power of the technique can be taken away. His innate ability is almost invincible. The four of them were shocked. Looking at Zhuge Mingyang again, he only lightly waved his hand, shattering their techniques. Without any hesitation, he continued to charge towards Mu Chongfeng and Mu Chun. "Let's go!" Mu Chongfeng's pupils shrank. Grabbing Mu Chongyun, they instantly disappeared. Zhuge Mingyang raised his eyebrows, his spiritual force surging out, quickly capturing a space divine item in the void in front of him. "You think you'll be fine if you hide in the space divine item?" Zhuge Mingyang's ferocious nature erupted, leaping up, bringing the bone dragon fighting soul with him as he punched towards the space divine item. "Quickly stop him!" The three divine overlords roared. Wang Yuanshan's eyes flashed with a terrifying light. His fighting soul and battle art were all activated in an instant, fiercely charging towards Zhuge Mingyang. However, whether it was the fighting soul or battle art, as long as they entered the domain, their power would be greatly reduced. Zhuge Mingyang was like a hot knife through butter, shattering all the fighting souls and battle arts with one punch. Boom! Following closely, he punched the space divine item again. Kacha! Accompanied by a deafening sound, the space divine item actually shattered on the spot. This scene, even Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang were dumbfounded. No matter how weak the space divine item was, it was still a divine weapon. With Zhuge Mingyang's current cultivation, it was impossible for him to shatter a divine weapon. In other words, his innate superpower had also weakened the space divine item. What a terrifying innate superpower! Mu Tianyang muttered. Obviously, his innate superpower is effective against everything. Furthermore, it deprives it of its foundation. For example, the space divine item was originally made of divine iron. But under the innate superpower, it has lost the hardness of divine iron. In other words, his innate superpower deprived the divine iron of its elements, turning it into an ordinary piece of iron. Therefore, Zhuge Mingyang was able to shatter it with one punch. This guy is getting more and more terrifying. The strength he displayed in front of me in the past is just the tip of the iceberg. Qin Feiyang sighed. In the face of such an innate superpower, even he was somewhat helpless. Mu Tunyang said, "All the more reason for us to join forces and get rid of him first. Let's wait a little longer. I believe that Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun are not good for nothings." Qin Feiyang laughed. "I understand their strength. If they didn't fall into that domain, it wouldn't be a problem to kill Zhuge Mingyang." But now, Mu Tianyang's brows were tightly knitted. Zhuge Mingyang definitely knew this, so he definitely wouldn't let Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun leave the domain so easily. "Don't worry. It's hard to predict the outcome until the last moment." Qin Feiyang chuckled. Battlefield. As the space divine item shattered, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun tumbled out in a sorry state. Fortunately, they were strong enough, otherwise they would definitely be shattered together with the space divine item. "I haven't tasted the blood of the war god, it should be delicious." Zhuge Mingyang glanced at the two and licked his lips like a man-eating demon. Boom! The grayish-white pseudo-god power rolled out and instantly enveloped the two. The two were shocked. The pseudo-god power was actually robbing them of their blood and vitality. "It's indeed delicious." Zhuge Mingyang laughed sinisterly. "Little bastard, we'll kill you." The three divine overlords roared furiously and rushed into the domain, their bodies releasing a destructive aura at the same time. Self-destruct. Zhuge Mingyang's expression changed and he retreated without hesitation. But the moment he retreated, the three divine overlords' aura quickly dissipated. Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun took this opportunity to retreat with the three divine overlords. "Playing with me?" Zhuge Mingyang raised his eyebrows. "That's right. On the surface we self-destructed, but in reality we just wanted to scare you away." The three divine overlords sneered. Zhuge Mingyang took a deep breath and glanced at the three of them. "You guys have already made me very angry." "Angry? Now that we're prepared, what can you do to us?" The three divine overlords sneered. "What can I do to you guys?" Zhuge Mingyang murmured and suddenly grinned, looking at Wang Yuanshan and the three divine overlords. "Do you guys really know me well?" "What do you mean?" The four frowned. "Do you guys really know what I'm capable of? Do you guys really think that long-range attacks will work on me?" At this moment, Zhuge Mingyang smiled brightly. An uneasy premonition arose in the hearts of the four. "Leave this to us, quickly retreat." Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun shouted, feeling uneasy too. The four of them looked at each other and decisively turned around to leave. "It's all my fault for allowing these four clowns to be so arrogant for so long. But it's time to stop, you guys should be prepared." 6 words killing formula. Speed formula open. Zhuge Mingyang glanced at the four of them and suddenly shouted, divine light surging from his feet. Shua! In an instant, he disappeared from everyone's sight. "This is..." Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun widened their eyes in anger. Qin Feiyang's arm holding the teacup trembled slightly. Zhuge Mingyang was actually teleporting. No, it wasn't teleportation. It was his speed, as if he was teleporting, which had far surpassed the auxiliary divine technique. 6 words killing formula, speed formula. What kind of divine technique was this? In just a few blinks of an eye, Zhuge Mingyang was in front of Wang Yuanshan and the other three. How could he be so fast? I must be dreaming. Wang Yuanshan and the other three stopped in the void and looked at Zhuge Mingyang's back in disbelief. Run! Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun regained their senses and hurriedly shouted. The four of them hurriedly turned around and fled. Can you escape? Zhuge Mingyang laughed without turning his head. His divine ability shrouded the four of them, causing their cultivation to drop to 7 stars combat emperor. Their speed was also greatly reduced. Chapter 1738. The four of them ran for their lives without looking back. However, their faces were filled with confusion. Obviously, they wanted to know why he did that. If they had used the G formula right from the start, they would have already been killed by Zhuge Mingyang. Because I like to see your faces now. I gave you hope and made you think that you could defeat me. But in the end you realized how insignificant you are, and fell into the abyss of despair. Zhuge Mingyang snickered. Divine light surged under his feet, and he appeared behind a divine overlord. His hand grabbed the divine overlord's head like an eagle's claw. No, the divine overlord screamed. His face was filled with fear. You even forgot to self-destruct. I can imagine how scared you are now. Die in despair. Zhuge Mingyang's eyes were filled with bloodlust. He clenched his fist and the divine overlord's head exploded like a watermelon. Blood and flesh splattered everywhere. Zhuge Mingyang's face was also covered in blood. He stuck out his tongue and licked the blood. The blood of a false god is also delicious. Demon. Looking at this scene, Wang Yuanshan and the other two were shocked. Mu Changfeng and Mu Changfeng also felt a sense of terror in their hearts. Who's next? Zhuge Mingyang glanced at Wang Yuanshan and the other two and laughed. Don't kill us. The three of them screamed in despair. You. Zhuge Mingyang looked around and locked his gaze on one of the divine overlords. Whoosh! With a wave of his hand, the power of the false gods turned into chains that shot through the air and tied the deity overlord up. Save me! The divine overlord's body trembled as he screamed at Wang Yuanshan and the other two. However, Wang Yuanshan and the other divine overlord were already scared out of their wits by Zhuge Mingyang's power. How could they turn around to save him? A human's life is too cheap. It's not even worth as much as a beast. Even if it's a false god. Zhuge Mingyang walked towards the divine overlord. The blood on his face, along with his hideous smile, appeared extremely terrifying. He was like a god of death, causing people to tremble. No, I beg you, let me go. The deity overlord shuddered and his eyes were filled with fear. He was so scared that he lost control of his bladder. Fake god, is that all you have? What's the point of keeping someone like you alive? Your flesh and blood disgusts me. Zhuge Mingyang's face was filled with disgust. He took a step forward and crushed the deity overlord with a single palm strike. Mu Changfeng quivered, shouting, Quick! We can't let him continue killing like this. Mu Zhongyun also regained his senses. The two of them immediately activated their divine arts and charged into the domain. The power of the deity incantation had also decreased, but only by one level. It was still a threat to Zhuge Mingyang. Rumble! Zhuge Mingyang was sent flying with a pale face. Now that Wang Yuanshan and his companion were saved, they immediately weakened. Kill! Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun looked at each other and shouted at the same time. Without the restriction of their divine abilities, they were all true war gods. Whether it was their divine arts or war souls, they were far superior to Wang Yuanshan and his companions. For a moment, Zhuge Mingyang was at a disadvantage. He was suppressed by the two. What did I say just now? Your two sons aren't useless, didn't they turn the situation around? Qin Feiyang laughed. Mu Tianyang clenched his fists as his body trembled violently. Although the situation had been reversed, they had sacrificed two fake gods. Such a loss was a calamity for the Tianyang Empire. Kill him, we must kill him. Wang Yuanshan, what are you doing? Are you really trash? Mu Tianyang roared. Wang Yuanshan and the deity overlord trembled. Trash? We are fake gods, how can we be trash? The two stood up and rushed to the side of Mu Changfeng and his companion. Their divine arts roared in the sky as they charged towards Zhuge Mingyang again. Humph! Zhuge Mingyang snorted coldly as he used the speed art to charge towards the four of them. But at the same time, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun also teleported away with Wang Yuanshan and the deity overlord. Don't forget, we are war gods and we have the ability to teleport. As long as we are prepared, your divine abilities will not be a threat to us. The two sneered. Two human shadow fighting souls soared into the sky from his back, their evil auras soaring to the heavens. Shatter! The two roared. The two war souls charged towards the bone dragon. Roar! Boom! The bone dragon let out a cry and shattered on the spot. Its divine abilities were also destroyed. Not bad, not bad. They actually knew to deal with Zhuge Mingyang's war souls first. This means that they haven't lost their minds. Qin Feiyang praised. If they wanted to kill Zhuge Mingyang, they had to break his divine abilities first. And to break the divine abilities they had to shatter the war souls. Once the divine abilities were broken, Zhuge Mingyang would be like a fish on a chopping board in front of the two war gods. As expected, once the divine abilities were broken, a trace of panic appeared on Zhuge Mingyang's face. Mu Changfeng, Wang Yuanshan, and Mu Changfeng also seized this rare opportunity to unleash their strongest deity arts and attack Zhuge Mingyang. You want to kill me? You must be dreaming. Zhuge Mingyang's eyes flashed and he was about to enter the divine item. Mu Zhangfeng, Mu Zhangyun, you two war gods are actually bullying a junior. How shameless. But at this moment, an angry roar sounded. Then, two white-haired old men appeared in front of Zhuge Mingyang. Boom! The two of them didn't say a word, and directly attacked with divine incantations, attacking the divine incantations of Mu Changfeng's group. Boom! There was a loud explosion in the void. The two of them actually blocked the four war gods' divine arts. Ancestor. Emperor Hong? Zhuge Mingyang looked at the two old men in front of him with a stunned expression. Why was there another ancestor? Then who was the other ancestor? Zhuge Mingyang turned his head and looked at Tang Hai in the distance, his eyes full of surprise. At the same time, Mu Tianyang, Mu Changfeng, and the other two were also surprised. He finally appeared. Qin Feiyang chuckled. The group of people looked at Qin Feiyang in unison. Qin Feiyang smiled and said, Tang Hai, there's no need to hide. Yes. Tang Hai respectfully responded and stopped at the same time as Zhao Tai Lai. Then, Tang Hai turned around, took out a mask, put it on his face, and swallowed a facial restoration pill. Tang Hai, Mu Tianyang looked at Tang Hai's back and said in shock and anger, You're the Netherhall's hall master. Tang Hai came back to his senses and looked at Mu Tianyang nodding, Yes, it's me. Bastard. Mu Tianyang and Zhuge Mingyang immediately glared at Qin Feiyang. It turned out that all of this was a trap set by this bastard. Qin Feiyang looked at the two, picked up the teacup, and said with a smile while drinking, Don't you think this is interesting? Give us the sarcophagus. Mu Tianyang and Zhuge Mingyang shouted at the same time. Mu Changfeng and the other three war gods, the state preceptor, and Emperor Hong all stared at Qin Feiyang, murderous intent flashing in their eyes. After learning the truth, the two sides decisively chose to stop the battle. Qin Feiyang put down the teacup and glanced at the group, saying, Are you going to join forces to deal with me? Swish! At the same time, Zhao Tai Lai and Tang Hai teleported and rushed to Qin Feiyang's side. Looking at the group of people, their eyes flashed coldly. Mu Tianyang was furious. He smashed the tea table and tea set with a palm and shouted, You played us like this, and even caused my Tianyang empire to lose a war god and 3 false gods. Shouldn't we join forces to deal with you? The death of Mu Nanfeng and the 3 divine overlords almost drove him crazy. Qin Feiyang lowered his head and turned a deaf ear to him. He looked at the broken tea set and sighed. What a pity for this set of tender Qing. Bastard, why are you still caring about the tea set? Do you even put us in your eyes? Zhuge Mingyang roared. Facing 2 groups of people, he can still be so calm. This guy's courage is not bad. At the top of the clouds, the ice dragon god was surprised. The golden small beast said, This is his personality. Who exactly is he? The ice dragon frowned and suddenly thought of something. He said in surprise, Wait, he can't be someone's reincarnation, right? It's a secret. The golden small beast smiled mysteriously. The ice dragon rolled his eyes. Below, Qin Feiyang clenched his 5 fingers and the remaining teacup in his hand shattered. He raised his head and said with a smile, You have a total of 4 war gods and 2 false gods. As for you, Zhuge Mingyang and Mu Tianyang, your battle prowess has even reached the war god level. How could I possibly dare to underestimate you? Since you know, then give us the stone coffin. Mu Tianyang shouted. The stone coffin? Qin Feiyang murmured and laughed. That depends on whether you have the ability or not. Boom! As soon as he said that, waves of gods might erupted. Zhuge Mingyang, the state teacher, Emperor Hong, Mu Changfeng, Wang Yuanshan, and the deity overlord all flew over and surrounded Qin Feiyang's group. What? You want to bully us with numbers? But suddenly, a cold snort was heard. In the next moment, 4 waves of gods might descended on the group. Everyone was shocked and looked up. They saw 3 men and 1 woman standing in the air, exuding pure god's might. Qin Feiyang's face was filled with joy. The four of them were the mysterious madam, old man Qin Yishu and his cousin Lu Jijin. What made him even more surprised was that the four of them had reached the war god level. Looks like he didn't need to go to the Black Tortoise world. Originally, he was going to bring Tang Hai and Zhao Tailai into the Black Tortoise world. After all, Mu Tianyang and Zhuge Mingyang teaming up was not something he could handle. Moreover, his goal had been achieved. He had killed one war god and four false gods, causing Mu Tianyang to suffer heavy losses. But he didn't expect that at this time, Old Man Qin and the others would rush over. This was simply a timely reign. The four war gods, plus Zhao Tailai and Tang Hai, could completely suppress the alliance of Mu Tianyang and Zhuge Mingyang. My cousin Lu Jijin is someone you can bully? Lu Jijin's gaze was as cold as a blade. God's might covered the sky and earth, oppressing the state teacher's group. Lu Jijin. The pupils of the state teacher and the others shrank. Chapter 1739. Of course we're not unfamiliar with the peerless monster of the Lu family. I just didn't expect you to step into the war god realm so quickly, the imperial preceptor said in a deep voice. Lu Jijin said, otherwise why would I be called a peerless monster? This sentence was obviously full of arrogance. If it was said by someone else, it would definitely make people feel disgusted. But when it came from Lu Jijin's mouth, no one felt disgusted at all. They felt that it was natural. Emperor Hong took a deep look at Lu Jijin and sighed. Great Qin's number one monster is indeed none other than you. I'm the number one monster of Great Qin. Zhuge Mingyang roared and leaped towards Lu Jijin. You? Lu Jijin looked at Zhuge Mingyang. The mysterious lady glanced at Zhuge Mingyang, then glanced at Lu Jijin and said teasingly, little guy, someone is provoking you. Yishu and Old Qin also had a playful look. Provocation is childish behavior because I've never cared about the title of monster. Lu Jijin said indifferently. You don't care but others don't think so. The mysterious lady chuckled. Since that's the case, then I'll play with him and see if he's qualified to touch the title of number one monster. Lu Jijin said coldly and turned into a stream of light, rushing into the sky. Zhuge Mingyang followed closely behind. Lu Jijin took the lead to rush into the sky with his hands behind his back. He looked at Zhuge Mingyang with an indifferent expression. It seemed that there was nothing that could catch his attention. Swoosh! Zhuge Mingyang flew into the sky and landed in the void opposite Lu Jijin. He sneered, I've heard of your name, but I won't lose to you. Is that so? Lu Jijin said indifferently, and his aura erupted. Waves of divine might covered the sky and earth, and the surrounding void collapsed and shattered crazily. But then, his aura quickly fell. What is he doing? Qin Feiyang and the others below were surprised. Zhuge Mingyang also stared at Lu Jijin suspiciously. Soon, Lu Jijin's aura fell to the false god realm. So he's suppressing his cultivation. Everyone suddenly understood. Lu Jijin glanced at Zhuge Mingyang and calmly said, I'm the divine god of battle. If I were to use my full strength, it would be an unfair battle. Therefore, I've suppressed my cultivation to the same level as yours. Young master, your eldest cousin is really bold. However, it is also somewhat foolish. Zhao Tailai whispered. Hearing this, Qin Feiyang frowned slightly. He didn't deny his cousin's talent, but it was unwise for him to suppress his cultivation in front of Zhuge Mingyang. The imperial tutor Mu Tianyang and the others all sneered. In their opinion, Lu Jijin was digging his own grave by suppressing his cultivation. High in the sky, Zhuge Mingyang clenched his fists and stared at Lu Jijin. Are you looking down on me? I won't look down on anyone. Even if my opponent is immortal, I will still treat him seriously. Lu Jijin said indifferently. Then why are you suppressing your cultivation? Zhuge Mingyang said angrily. Why? Lu Jijin pondered for a moment and said, if I have to find a reason, I don't want to bully you. At the top of the clouds, Ice Dragon looked at Lu Jijin and said with a smile, Boss Frog, I like this kid. Grandpa Frog also likes him. Calm, courage, talent, he has everything. He is a promising talent. Compared to this kid, that kid called Zhuge Mingyang gives people the feeling of a clown. The golden small beast said, don't want to bully me. Zhuge Mingyang muttered. His fists clenched tighter and tighter. His fingernails had already sunk into his flesh, and drops of grayish-white blood kept dripping down. Lu Jejin said indifferently, "It's useless to say more, make your move." He-ha! Zhuge Mingyang raised his head and laughed wildly. He shouted, "Surnamed Lu, you will understand in a moment how laughable your current actions are." Roar! Accompanied by a loud dragon roar, the bone dragon roared out. Its innate ability was activated instantly. Lu Jejin's cultivation fell to 7-star combat emperor. Lu Jejin raised his head and looked at the bone dragon with a trace of surprise in his eyes. "How is it? Are you starting to regret it? It's not too late to change your mind. As long as you let go of the suppression of your cultivation, you can immediately return to the false god realm. You might even be able to fight." Zhuge Mingyang laughed. "So that's how it is to deprive one's cultivation." Lu Jejin nodded and looked down at Zhuge Mingyang. He said, "You do have the right to challenge me." Zhuge Mingyang was stunned and laughed. "You really don't know what you are talking about. How dare you talk big?" Whoosh! He took a step forward and the false god realm power rolled out as he threw a punch at Lu Jejin. Lu Jejin's expression did not change, nor did he dodge. He raised his arm and slapped. "Oh no! Young master, your eldest cousin is underestimating him too much," Zhao Tailai said to himself. Qin Feiyong did not say anything. The mocking smile on the faces of the imperial advisor and the others became thicker. At this point, he still dared to fight Zhuge Mingyang head-on. This person was indeed extraordinarily stupid. Boom! The fist and the palm collided. Lu Jejin was immediately sent flying. His arm was directly shattered, and his flesh and blood splattered everywhere. "Do you see that? This is my strength." Zhuge Mingyang laughed and went forward again, slapping Lu Jejin's chest. Puff! Lu Jejin spat out a mouthful of blood. His chest caved in and his bones were shattered. "I haven't used my full strength yet. If I had used my full strength, you would be a corpse now. Now answer me. Do you still dare to look down on me?" Zhuge Mingyang stopped in the air with his arms crossed in front of his chest. Zhuge Mingyang's eyes widened in anger. His divine ability had lost its effect? He quickly raised his head and looked at the bone dragon fighting soul in the sky. The fighting soul was still there. The divine ability was still there. Since the fighting soul and divine ability were still there, why did Lu Jejin's cultivation recover? You must be very surprised. Your divine ability is indeed very powerful. It can even be said that in today's world, there are only a few people who can break your divine ability. However, in front of me it is useless. Lu Jejin said. Useless? Zhuge Mingyang's body trembled. And he said angrily, "Why?" "Because of it." Lu Jejin pointed to the fiery red eye in the sky. Zhuge Mingyang looked up and said in a deep voice, "What is that?" This was also what Qin Feiyong and the rest wanted to know. What exactly was that eye? It could actually break Zhuge Mingyang's divine ability. "It is called the Eye of Nothingness. It is my fighting soul," Lu Jejin said. "What? It is his fighting soul. Eye of Nothingness, what kind of fighting soul is this? Why haven't I heard of it before?" Everyone was surprised. "I know." Mu Tianyang's voice suddenly sounded. Everyone looked at Mu Tianyang and found that Mu Tianyang's body was trembling. "Are you afraid?" Everyone was surprised. "Eye of Nothingness, I really didn't expect you to activate this fighting soul." Mu Tianyang looked at Lu Jejin and said with difficulty. Lu Jejin lowered his head to look at Mu Tianyang and said, "The knowledge of the previous emperor is indeed extraordinary." Chapter 1740. The ability of the Eye of Nothingness is to nullify a fighting soul's gifted superpower. Mu Tianyang said. Nullify. Everyone was surprised. That's right. The Eye of Nothingness is the same as the Heavenly Eye. It is one of the rarest fighting souls in the world. If fighting souls are divided into different grades, then the Eye of Nothingness and the Heavenly Eye belong to the top fighting souls. The Heavenly Eye has the ability to see through everything. No matter who it is, they have nowhere to hide when facing the Heavenly Eye. As for the Eye of Nothingness, it can nullify the gifted superpower of all fighting souls. Mu Tianyang said in a deep voice. Nullify the gifted superpower. I see. This is why Zhuge Mingyang's gifted superpower suddenly lost its effect. The Eye of Nothingness is too scary. Everyone was shocked. The mysterious lady laughed and said, "This little guy hid it well. Yeah. After fighting side by side for so long, we didn't realize it at all." Old Man Qin shook his head and laughed. The Eye of Nothingness. Nullify the gifted superpower. I didn't expect you to have such a powerful fighting soul. Why didn't you activate your fighting soul at the first moment? Are you kidding me? Zhuge Mingyang roared hysterically. Kidding you? No way. Lu Jijin shook his head. Zhuge Mingyang said angrily, then why? Did you deliberately make me stand out in front of everyone to humiliate me? Humiliate? Is that what you think? Although I have been cultivating wholeheartedly, I have heard of Zhuge Mingyang's name. However, I didn't expect you to be such an inferior person. Lu Jijin said coldly. I'm inferior? Zhuge Mingyang laughed. I was just testing your strength and you said I was humiliating you. Isn't this a sign of inferiority? Lu Jijin said. Haha, testing my strength, so from the beginning you didn't take me seriously. Lu, don't think that you can defeat me just because you activated the Eye of Nothingness. Let me tell you, you still have a long way to go. Even if I don't have any innate ability, I can still kill you. Zhuge Mingyang laughed sinisterly. Kill me, Lu Jijin murmured and shook his head. If you can hurt even a strand of my hair, you win. What? So arrogant. Everyone's heart trembled. If Zhuge Mingyang could hurt even a strand of his hair, it would be considered his victory. You must be joking. Although Zhuge Mingyang's innate mystique had been nullified, one had to know that Zhuge Mingyang's strength was still quite terrifying. What right did he have to say such big words? Good. How dare you look down on me like this? I'll definitely make you pay the price. Sever character formula, kill. Zhuge Mingyang was infuriated. Along with a loud roar, he waved his hand and a ray of light sliced across the sky. It carried with it an apocalyptic aura that slashed towards Lu Jijin. Fire Phoenix Art's fourth style. Rising from the ashes. Lu Jijin said coldly. Divine power surged and a massive fire phoenix appeared. Chirp. The fire phoenix flapped its wings and soared high in the sky. Wherever it went, it turned into a sea of fire. Its divine power shook the heavens. This power, Qin Feiyang's gaze trembled. What's wrong? Zhao Tailai was bewildered. I've also inherited the Fire Phoenix Arts, so I'm quite familiar with the power of the Fire Phoenix Arts. But this aura, Qin Feiyang's face was full of disbelief. But what? Zhao Tailai asked. Qin Feiyang said, the fourth style that he evolved is actually several times stronger than mine. What? Several times stronger? Could it be that the Fire Phoenix Arts that you inherited are different? Zhao Tailai was shocked. No. I'm sure that the Fire Phoenix Arts that we mastered are the same, Qin Feiyang said. Then why is his Fire Phoenix Art stronger than yours? Zhao Tailai asked. There's only one explanation. Qin Feiyang said in a low voice and clenched his hands tightly. What explanation? Zhao Tailai was bewildered. Qin Feiyang said. He has increased the level of the Fire Phoenix Arts. Increased the level of the Fire Phoenix Arts. Zhao Tailai muttered and looked up at Lu Jijin. He saw the fire phoenix streaking across the sky and colliding with the startled swan. An unexpected scene appeared. The fire phoenix actually had the upper hand. The startled swan lasted for less than 3 breaths before it shattered and disintegrated. This, Zhao Tailai was dumbstruck. True enough. Qin Feiyang's eyes shone. He had personally experienced Zhuge Mingyang's sever-word art. Although it could not be compared to the 6-word divine art, it was almost on par with the divine dragon art. The Fire Phoenix Arts was slightly weaker than the divine dragon art. As such, the Fire Phoenix Arts was also weaker than the sever-word art. However, right now, in the confrontation between Zhuge Mingyang and Lu Jijin actually had the upper hand. What did this mean? It meant that Lu Jijin had indeed increased the level of the Fire Phoenix Arts. In other words, the lethality of the Fire Phoenix Arts that Lu Jijin had mastered had already surpassed the Divine Dragon Art. Increasing the level of the Divine Art. Your cousin's talent is too heaven-defying. Zhao Tailai smiled bitterly. That's right. Qin Feiyang sighed. This big cousin was indeed worthy of being called the peerless genius of the Lu family. But soon after, the corners of his mouth lifted slightly and he smiled. However, he is not the only one in this world who can increase the level of the divine art. There is someone else. Zhao Tailai was shocked. Yes. Qin Feiyang nodded. Who? Zhao Tailai asked. Qin Feiyang said, it's all in front of you, Zhuge Mingyang and I. You and Zhuge Mingyang? Zhao Tailai was shocked. My void returning art and Zhuge Mingyang's azure dragon art both relied on our own hard work to increase the level of the divine art. I also believe that sooner or later, I will be able to increase the level of the fire phoenix art and even the divine dragon art like big cousin. Qin Feiyang laughed. TSK. You guys are really a bunch of perverts. Zhao Tailai shook his head and sighed. Increasing the level of a deity art required more than just talent. It also required extraordinary comprehension and opportunity. Could be said that this was a very difficult thing. Out of 1 million people, it was already very good to be able to produce one. Looking at Zhuge Mingyang again. At this moment, he raised his head and looked at the fire phoenix in astonishment. Obviously, this scene caused him to be rather shocked. He can actually block the sever word technique. Suddenly, he retracted his gaze, lowered his head to look at Lu Jijin, and laughed sinisterly. Amazing, you actually increased the level of the fire phoenix art. Other than me and Qin Feiyang, you are the third. You flatter me. Lu Jijin said indifferently. What are you so proud of? If you think that you can block my attack with just the fire phoenix art, then you're too naive. Zhuge Mingyang roared, the divine light beneath his feet surged. He activated the G-word technique and instantly rushed behind Lu Jijin. Immediately, a victorious smile appeared on his face and he said, you were the one who said that as long as I hurt a single strand of your hair, I'll win. Don't regret it. As soon as he finished, he raised his arm like lightning and grabbed towards Lu Jijin's hair. Yes, I said that. But you can't do it. Lu Jijin's face was filled with confidence. Just as Zhuge Mingyang's big hand was about to grab his hair, a fiery red barrier suddenly expanded with Lu Jijin as the center. The sudden scene caused Zhuge Mingyang's eyelids to twitch, and he retreated without hesitation. The barrier expanded to 100 feet before it stopped abruptly. The surging flames illuminated all directions. Zhuge Mingyang frowned, glanced at the barrier and suddenly sneered. I thought it was some kind of trump card. It turns out that it's just an ordinary barrier. It really scared me. Swish. Finished. He activated the G-word technique again and rushed behind Lu Jijin. The power of the false god surged and punched out. Even the void began to distort. However, when that punch landed on the spirit formation did not even tremble in the slightest. How is this possible? Zhuge Mingyang's eyes were wide open in anger. The Imperial Preceptor and the others below also had a look of disbelief. Qin Feiyang also looked at the barrier in disbelief. Suddenly, his eyes trembled and he said, this is not a simple divine force barrier. It is formed by a divine art, and it is not an ordinary divine art. Formed by a divine art? Everyone was surprised. It was also at this time that Lu Jijin turned around, facing Zhuge Mingyang, and said lightly, the fifth style of the fire phoenix art, divine phoenix domain, please enlighten me. Before his voice faded, one by one, palm-sized fire phoenixes rushed out of the barrier and danced around it. What? The fifth style? Below there was an uproar. Lord Emperor Hong, is there a fifth style of the fire phoenix art? The Imperial Preceptor looked at Emperor Hong and asked. I don't remember. Emperor Hong shook his head. Young master, have you inherited the fifth style? Zhao Tailai and Tang Hai also looked at Qin Feiyang in shock. No. Qin Feiyang said. Then how could he have the fifth style? Everyone looked at Lu Jijin again, their eyes full of surprise. The fifth style, divine phoenix domain. What the hell is going on? I remember that Lu Zhang has never used this style. Could it be that Lu Zhang has been hiding something from everyone? Qin Feiyang's mind was also in a mess. Divine phoenix domain, high up in the sky. Zhuge Mingyang also looked at the barrier in surprise. Why hadn't he seen Qin Feiyang use this style before? Lu Jijin said. This style, even my Lu family's ancestors didn't know, only I know. How is that possible? Wasn't your fire phoenix art passed down from an inheritance? Zhuge Mingyang said. Yes, the Fire Phoenix art is inherited, but the Divine Phoenix domain is a continuation of the 4 styles of the Fire Phoenix art and self-created. It has an absolute defense. With your current strength, you will never be able to break it, Lu Jijin said. Self-created. Zhuge Mingyang was stunned. Below, Qin Feiyang, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Mu Tianyang, Emperor Hong, as well as the Imperial Preceptor and the others were all dumbfounded. It was actually a divine art that he created himself. How was this possible? How old was he to be able to create his own divine art? Creating one's own divine art and raising the level of one's divine art were 2 completely different concepts. Raising the level of a divine art was based on the foundation of a divine art or a battle art. In other words, there was a sample of it. To use the simplest analogy, it was like drawing a picture. With a sample as a reference, it was much easier to imitate. Chapter 1741. It was the same for self-created divine arts. This was a divine art that had been created out of thin air without any foundation. Of course, Lu Jijin had also said it before. He created the Divine Phoenix domain by continuing the 4 moves of the Fire Phoenix arts. In other words, there was still a reference. This reference was the 4 moves of the Fire Phoenix arts. But even so, it was still very shocking. This was not something an ordinary person could do. Emperor Hong sighed. A peerless genius, a peerless genius. His talent and comprehension are on par with the ancestor of the Lu family, Lu Zhengyang. So the ancestor of the Lu family is called Lu Zhengyang. Qin Feiyang muttered. Who? High up in the sky. Zhuge Mingyang took a deep breath, looked at Lu Jijin and said, I admit, your talent is better than mine, even better than Qin Feiyang. But what absolute defense, what unbreakable in your lifetime is simply a joke. Watch how I break your Divine Phoenix domain. Bone Dragon's Eye. Bone Dragon Celestial Phenomenon. Demonic Hand. Zhuge Mingyang roared and instantly evolved 3 great divine arts, crazily attacking the Divine Phoenix domain. Boom! In an instant, Lu Jijin was drowned by the 3 great divine arts. A destructive aura swept in all directions. However, when everything calmed down and Lu Jijin appeared, everyone was shocked to find that the Divine Phoenix domain did not show any signs of breaking. Lu Jijin, who was standing inside the Divine Phoenix domain, was even more unscathed. How is this possible? Zhuge Mingyang's eyes trembled. Is this the monster of the Lu family? The Imperial Grandmaster muttered, a trace of worry creeping onto his old face. Once, Zhuge Mingyang had been repeatedly defeated by Qin Feiyang, and had suffered quite a blow. It was not easy for him to regain his confidence, but now he was actually defeated by Lu Jijin. If he was not careful, he would probably fall into the same situation as before and never be able to recover. How is it? Lu Jijin looked at Zhuge Mingyang, his eyes extremely calm without any contempt. However, Zhuge Mingyang felt a great sense of humiliation. Why? As if Qin Feiyang wasn't enough, now there's Lu Jijin. God, why are you doing this to me? I refuse to accept this. I can't accept this. Zhuge Mingyang roared into the sky like a wild beast that had gone berserk. He pointed his index finger in the air and a gray-white pentagram appeared in the sky. And in the center of the pentagram, there was a striking word, annihilation. A destructive aura roared out from the word, destroy. The wind howled, and the surrounding void shattered. Void shatter. This power has already reached the level of a war god. Everyone's heart shuddered. However, Lu Jijin's expression remained unchanged, appearing extremely calm. Extermination symbol art? Crush him. Zhuge Mingyang roared, his eyes bloodshot. The pentagram shattered the sky as it shot towards Lu Jijin. With a loud bang, the Divine Phoenix domain also began to distort. Shatter it. Hurry up and shatter it. Zhuge Mingyang stared at the Divine Phoenix domain and shouted crazily. However, as time passed, the pentagram gradually dissipated, and the destructive aura also slowly subsided. However, the Divine Phoenix domain did not shatter in the end. How could this be? The extermination symbol art is already my strongest technique, but it still can't break the Divine Phoenix domain. Why? Why is this happening? I hate it. Lu, I'll fight you to the death. Zhuge Mingyang muttered. His confidence was severely damaged. even more so than when he was defeated by Qin Feiyang. In the end he went completely crazy. His aura erupted without reservation as he rushed towards Lu Jijin. How pitiful. However, a pitiful person must have something to hate. Let me send you on your way. Lu Jijin whispered. The fire phoenix that had been hovering in the sky suddenly swooped down, turning into a wave of fire that drowned Zhuge Mingyang. No, I can't accept this. Zhuge Mingyang's resentful roar sounded in the wave of fire. Mingyang! The Imperial Preceptor's aura erupted as he hurriedly rushed towards the sky. Old Man Qin took a step forward and stood in front of the Imperial Preceptor. He smiled and said, "Don't interfere in the battle between the young people. Get lost." The Imperial Preceptor roared as his divine power poured out and rushed towards Old Man Qin. Humph! Old Man Qin snorted as his divine power surged out. Boom! The two divine powers collided with a loud bang. The void shattered and the sky collapsed. Both of them were true war gods. One could imagine their destructive power. At the same time, the Imperial Preceptor and Old Man Qin's body trembled slightly as a trace of blood flowed out from the corner of their mouths. Ancestor, I can't accept this. It was also at this moment. Zhuge Mingyang's roar once again sounded in the wave of fire, followed by his body being torn apart. Ming, old thing, get out of my way. The Imperial Preceptor bared his teeth and roared at Old Man Qin before crazily rushing forward. You and I will have a battle in the end. Let's settle it here today. Old Man Qin's eyes also flashed with shocking killing intent. His divine power completely erupted as he directly fought with the Imperial Preceptor in the void. Swish! At the same time, Emperor Hong's eyes flashed with killing intent as he teleported and rushed towards Jia Jin like lightning. I won't allow you to bully a junior. The mysterious lady smiled coldly and shouted, Yi Shu. Yes. Yi Shu respectfully responded. He took a step forward and stood in front of Emperor Hong, saying, Your opponent is me? You think you're worthy? Emperor Hong sneered. You'll know once you try. Yi Shu smiled, his divine power gushing out as he threw a punch. If you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Emperor Hong's killing intent rose as he flashed forward and slammed his palm towards Yi Shu's fist. With a loud bang, a world-destroying airwave suddenly rolled out with the two as the center. Puff! Both of them spat out a mouthful of blood at the same time. I didn't expect you to have some strength. Emperor Hong was surprised. This old man's strength is far more than this. Yi Shu sneered. Boom! The battle between the two began immediately. Below, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun glanced at each other, and a monstrous killing intent burst out from their bodies as they rushed towards Qin Feiyang like lightning. Do you think we're air? Zhao Tailai and Tang Hai took a step forward and stood in front of Qin Feiyang. Mu Changfeng stared at Tang Hai and asked, Those two sarcophagi are on you, right? Yes. Tang Hai nodded. Then killing you is the same. Mu Changfeng said. Is that so? Tang Hai's eyes flashed with a cold light. The next moment, like a ghost, he appeared behind Mu Changfeng and Tang Hai. His hands reached out, grabbed their arms and threw them back with force. The two immediately smashed into a mountain range thousands of miles away like meteorites. Zhao Tailai, you can't fight here, or you'll hurt the young master. Tang Hai said. Understood. Zhao Tailai nodded. The two immediately rushed towards the mountain range. Boom! Soon, the battle over there also broke out. What should we do? Wang Yuanshan glanced at the battlefield and looked at the remaining divine overlord next to him. The divine overlord smiled bitterly and said, We're just false gods, we can't help at all. However, Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang didn't seem to see any of this. They raised their heads and looked at Zhuge Mingyang without blinking. Zhuge Mingyang's torn body was slowly turning into ashes under the burning waves. But even so, the two couldn't let down their guard, because they both knew that the demon ancestor was still hiding in Zhuge Mingyang's body. But unexpectedly, the demon ancestor still didn't appear. Soon, the last piece of flesh was also burned to ashes by the waves of fire. What's going on? Why didn't the demon ancestor appear to save Zhuge Mingyang? Mu Tuanyang retracted his gaze and turned to Qin Feiyang and asked in surprise. I don't know. Qin Feiyang shook his head. What is this person doing? Mu Tianyang looked at the sky again. The waves of fire gradually dissipated. Zhuge Mingyang had completely disappeared, and there was no trace of the demon ancestor. Could it be that even the demon ancestor was burned to ashes? Qin Feiyang frowned. A moment later, Mu Tianyang suddenly smiled and said, I think the demon ancestor hidden in Zhuge Mingyang's body should only be a strand of divine sense. Divine sense? Qin Feiyang looked at Mu Tianyang. That's right. Otherwise, why would he leave him in the lurch? Mu Tianyang smiled. In other words, the demon ancestor isn't dead. Qin Feiyang raised his eyebrows and said, It's easier said than done to kill him. Mu Tianyang sighed deeply and said with a smile, But no matter what, Zhuge Mingyang's death is a good thing for us. That's true. Qin Feiyang nodded. The two let out a long breath at the same time. Zhuge Mingyang's threat was too great. If they didn't get rid of him, there would be endless trouble in the future. The most important thing was, Zhuge Mingyang died in the hands of Lu Jijin, and there was no possibility of him being resurrected in the future. Looking at Lu Jijin again, after killing Zhuge Mingyang, his eyes were as calm as ever, as if nothing could move him. The divine phoenix domain and the eye of nothingness also quickly dissipated. Swoosh! He glanced at the battlefield and landed beside Qin Feiyang. A smile finally appeared on his cold face as he said, Little cousin, long time no see. Qin Feiyang shook his head and said with a smile, At first, Lu Zheng asked me to find you as soon as possible, saying that he was afraid that you would be in danger. Now it seems that we were worrying too much. Lu Jijin couldn't help but laugh and said, What is Lu Zheng doing? He's comprehending the profound meaning of becoming a god. Qin Feiyang said. Lu Jijin nodded and said with a smile, Not bad. Your progress is faster than I expected. No matter how much I improve, I can't catch up with you. Qin Feiyang said helplessly. Lu Jijin said, Don't be discouraged. Lu Zheng aside, you will surpass me sooner or later. Really? Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. Why didn't he believe it? No matter when or where, don't lose your fighting spirit. You are younger than me, and your future is limitless. Your goal is also to surpass the Qin Emperor. What am I to you? Compared to the Qin Emperor, I am much worse. Lu Jijin laughed and turned to Mu Tianyang. He said with a smile, I have long heard of the legend of the Tianyang warlord. I have admired you for a long time. Why don't you compare notes with me? Mu Tianyang looked at Lu Jijin silently. However, Chapter 1742. What's wrong? The heavenly sun war god doesn't dare to accept the challenge of a junior? The mysterious madam landed beside Qin Feiyang and Mu Tianyang. She looked at Mu Tianyang with ridicule. Mu Tianyang was silent. The atmosphere at the scene was quite heavy. Suddenly, Mu Tianyang faced the mysterious lady and said, We should know each other. Know each other? Qin Feiyang and Lu Jijin looked at each other and looked at the mysterious lady suspiciously. The mysterious lady's pupils shrank slightly and said with a faint smile, We've met more than once, of course we know each other. No. I'm not talking about your identity. I'm talking about your other identity. Mu Tianyang waved his hand. Qin Feiyang's eyes flashed. It seemed that his guess was not wrong. The mysterious lady had another unknown identity. What are you talking about? Why don't I understand? The mysterious lady looked at Mu Tianyang suspiciously. Don't pretend. Who are you? Why do I always feel a familiar smell on your body? Mu Tianyang said. A familiar smell. Qin Feiyang narrowed his eyes and glanced at Mu Tianyang and the mysterious lady. His eyes flickered. As a former war god, Mu Tianyang's intuition was definitely not wrong. This meant that the mysterious lady's other identity was at least an old acquaintance of Mu Tianyang. The mysterious lady also fell silent, staring at Mu Tianyang, her eyes flashing inexplicably. Mu Tianyang said, How about this, you take a facial restoration pill and let us see? The mysterious lady said, Why? Qin Batian and I have been unrivaled in the world for thousands of years, but you know these things like the back of your hand. Moreover, you've repeatedly killed my Mu family's people, and your attitude towards Qin Feiyang was not very good. This makes me suspect that you have ulterior motives. Maybe you're targeting the Mu family, or maybe you're targeting Qin Feiyang. Mu Tianyang said. Qin Feiyang's eyes narrowed. The mysterious madam glanced at Qin Feiyang's reaction, then looked at Mu Tianyang and said with a smile, Mu Tianyang is indeed Mu Tianyang. You managed to drive a wedge between me and this kid with just a few words. Isn't that the truth? Although your attitude toward Qin Feiyang has changed a lot now, who knows if this is your scheme. So in order to prove your innocence, it's best to reveal your true identity, lest others misunderstand, Mu Tianyang said. The mysterious madam looked at Qin Feiyang and asked, Kid, will you believe his words? Qin Feiyang glanced at the two of them, his eyes flashing. You heartless little bastard. I've been so good to you but you don't believe me. The mysterious madam snorted. No. Qin Feiyang waved his hand and said with a smile, I believe in you. Mu Tianyang shouted, Qin Feiyang, you have to understand that sometimes, a wrong decision will cause you to be smashed to pieces. I know. But I believe in her. Because believing in her is more reliable than believing in you. Qin Feiyang said with a smile. Lu Jijin looked at Mu Tianyang and said, This kind of trick of sowing discord is only used by small people. You're the emperor of the previous dynasty, so it's more or less a disgrace for you to do this. So I think this farce should end here. Accept my challenge. Ha ha ha, I didn't expect you to be a battle maniac. Come, I'll fight with you. At this moment, a wave of arrogant laughter arose and rolled across the sky. It was deafening. Qin Feiyang and the others were shocked and hurriedly looked up. However, there was no trace of anyone in the sky. Who is it? They became vigilant. Boom! Suddenly, a strong sense of crisis rose in their hearts. Qin Feiyang and the others retreated without hesitation. Just as they were about to leave, the void collapsed with a loud rumble. A terrifying godly aura burst out from it. They all stared at the shattered void. Seeing you guys fight so happily, I'm really itchy, so I came to join in the fun. As an unruly voice sounded, a divine dragon more than a meter long appeared in the shattered void. Ice dragon. Qin Feiyang and the others' pupils contracted. That's right. It was the ice dragon beside small beast. As soon as it appeared, the world was instantly smeared with a layer of frost, and the cold current was bone-chilling. Lu Jijin's expression changed for the first time, and he said in a deep voice, Little cousin, be careful, its aura is very strong. Qin Feiyang nodded. The feeling that the ice dragon gave him could no longer be described as strong. In a trance, he felt as if he was facing the god of death, and an uncontrollable fear emerged in his heart. This kind of fear had never appeared before. Even when he was weak, facing the Grand Preceptor who had the cultivation of a false god, he was not so afraid. Qin Feiyang asked, Are you the Beast Emperor of the second floor? Beast Emperor? The ice dragon was taken aback and said playfully, Kind of. What do you mean kind of? Yes means yes, no means no. Qin Feiyang frowned. I don't like talkative children. The ice dragon shook its head and laughed. Before its voice faded, the ice dragon attacked without warning, and a burst of divine power appeared and blasted towards Qin Feiyang. Back off. Lu Jijin's expression changed, and he struck Qin Feiyang with his palm, opening the Divine Phoenix domain. Boom! The divine power blasted on the Divine Phoenix domain. A shocking scene appeared. The Divine Phoenix domain, which even Zhuge Mingyang was helpless against even after using all of his skills, appeared to be unable to withstand a single blow from the ice dragon's divine power. Gotcha! In the blink of an eye, the Divine Phoenix domain was shattered. The divine power was like an arrow, entering Lu Jijin's lower abdomen. Puff! Immediately, blood splattered, dyeing the sky red. Lu Jijin's chi was destroyed on the spot, and his face turned pale. So strong! Qin Feiyang, the mysterious madam, and Mu Tianyang's eyes trembled. Wang Yuanshan and the divine overlord next to them were scared out of their wits. Lu Jijin's strength was strong enough, but in front of the ice dragon, he did not even have the strength to fight back. Tang Hai and the Grand Preceptor also stopped fighting, and looked at the ice dragon in horror. Big cousin! Qin Feiyang came back to his senses, and quickly went forward, grabbing Lu Jijin. Lu Jijin said in a low voice, Little cousin, its strength is beyond all of our imaginations. Run! Run! The ice dragon laughed mockingly. Qin Feiyang gloomily looked at the ice dragon, and immediately brought Lu Jiajin into the Black Tortoise realm. However, he was shocked to find that there was an invisible force in the void, cutting off his connection with the Black Tortoise realm. He hurriedly checked the castle. In the end, he could not even sense the castle. How could this be? At the same time, Mu Tianyang exclaimed, "What's wrong?" Qin Feiyang and the others looked at him. Mu Tianyang said in a deep voice, "There is a force that cut off my connection with the spatial divine item." "Me too," Qin Feiyang said. The group of people looked at the ice dragon in unison. Other than the ice dragon, there was no one else here, so it must be the ice dragon who was playing tricks. "You are not the beast emperor of the second floor," Qin Feiyang said. "How do you know?" The ice dragon was curious. Qin Feiyang roared, "It's impossible for the beast emperor of the second floor to have such a strong method. Where exactly did you come from? And what is your purpose?" "You're quite smart." The ice dragon chuckled and said, "You don't have the qualifications to know where this emperor came from. As for this emperor's purpose," at this point, its gaze swept across Qin Feiyang and the others, and then looked at Zhao Tailai, Emperor Hong and the others in the distance. In those eyes that seemed to be condensed from ice, strands of killing intent flickered. "This emperor's purpose is to kill all of you." After he finished speaking, strands of divine power emerged and scattered in all directions, killing towards Qin Feiyang and the others and Tang Hai and the others. With a blood-curdling scream, Mu Tianyang's consciousness body collapsed on the spot. The mysterious lady's qi was also directly crippled. Wang Yuanshan and the Divine Lord were also not spared. They were all crippled and powerlessly fell down. Lu Jiajin glanced at the few of them, looked at the ice dragon and roared, "I won't let you hurt my little cousin." He forcefully pushed Qin Feiyang away, and that divine power immediately pierced through Lu Jiajin's chest. Flesh and blood splattered everywhere. A fist-sized bloody hole suddenly appeared. "Cousin!" Qin Feiyang roared, and hurriedly rushed forward, hugging Lu Jiajin. "Run! Its strength is too terrifying. Even if all of us join forces, we won't be its match." Lu Jiajin roared. It was also at this moment, cries of agony could be heard from the surroundings. Qin Feiyang looked up and saw that Tang Hai and the others' qi were also crippled one by one. No one was spared, and one after another, they fell from the void and smashed into the ground. "Why? What grudge do we have with you that you have to do this to us?" Mu Changfeng roared. "There's no reason. It's just that I've been too bored recently, so I came out to have some fun. That's why I met you. So you can only blame your bad luck." The ice dragon grinned. "Looking for fun?" Hearing this, everyone was so angry that they vomited blood. Mu Tianyang recovered his divine sense body and roared, "Bloodblade, help me kill it." "What? It's actually a heaven-defying artifact." Don't. If you have something to say, let's talk." The ice dragon's face changed as he hurriedly roared in panic, "It's too late." Mu Tianyang smiled sinisterly. "Too late? Do you think this emperor is really afraid?" The ice dragon laughed playfully. Mu Tianyang was startled and roared, "Bloodblade, what are you doing? Come out quickly." However, no matter how he shouted, the Bloodblade did not appear. "What's going on?" Mu Tianyang was stunned. Qin Feiyang and the others were also surprised. "Let this emperor tell you what's going on. That Bloodblade of yours, it was this emperor who suppressed it into the latrine. Do you think it dares to come out?" The ice dragon sneered. "What? You were the one who suppressed it?" Mu Tianyang's mind trembled. Qin Feiyang was also extremely shocked. Not long ago, he and Mu Tianyang were still discussing who exactly suppressed the Bloodblade. Who would have thought that the main character would appear so quickly? What was even more unexpected was that it was a divine dragon. To be able to suppress even a heaven-defying artifact, just what level had its strength reached? The ice dragon laughed complacently, looked at Mu Tianyang and said, "How is it? Do you still dare to threaten to kill this emperor?" Mu Tianyang could not help but tremble, and even his divine sense body was about to collapse. This was caused by fear. Chapter 1743. Ice Dragon's methods. Ice Dragon's strength made him almost unable to breathe. Fear like a tide drowned his body and mind. Mu Tianyang gradually collapsed. How could there be such a powerful existence in this world? Even the guardian python was as tiny as an ant in front of the ice dragon. Ice dragon's eyes were full of disdain. Looking at Mu Tianyang, it said, "Just now this emperor said that I don't like talkative children, but you actually dared to make a fuss. It seems that the lesson I gave you is not enough." "Please no." Mu Tianyang's body trembled as he hurriedly cried out. But before he could finish his words, a gust of icy cold air gushed out in all directions. Mu Tianyang's consciousness body was frozen in the void on the spot, turning into an ice sculpture. "It's finally quiet now." Ice Dragon smiled, turned to Qin Feiyang and said, "Little guy, now you're the only one left. Tell me, how do you want this emperor to entertain you?" Qin Feiyang said in a deep voice, "What's your relationship with Small Beast?" "Small Beast?" Ice Dragon was slightly stunned and said, "Are you talking about Boss Frog?" "Boss Frog?" Qin Feiyang frowned. Why was this name so awkward? Looks like it's really Boss Frog. You actually dare to call it Small Beast? You've got guts. Do you know what it's capable of? Let me tell you, it's stronger than this emperor." Ice Dragon teased. "What? Stronger than Ice Dragon?" Qin Feiyang's eyes trembled. Originally, he thought that Ice Dragon and Small Beast were on the same level. After all, this Ice Dragon was a terrifying existence that could seal a heaven-defying divine object. However, he never thought that Ice Dragon would actually say that Small Beast's strength was stronger than it. That Small Beast, just what kind of heaven-defying existence was it? Ice Dragon rolled its eyes and grinned. "Why don't this emperor give you a choice?" "What choice?" Qin Feiyang asked. "Use your life to exchange for the lives of your friends and subordinates, or use the lives of your friends and subordinates to exchange for your life." Ice Dragon said. "I don't understand." Qin Feiyang's face suddenly darkened. "You don't understand? Then I'll explain it more clearly. Either I kill you and let your friends and subordinates go, or I let you go, but your friends and subordinates will all die here. Do you understand now?" Ice Dragon mocked. Qin Feiyang clenched his fists tightly. How could he not understand? It was just that he did not know how to face it, so he pretended not to know. Lu Zhejin smiled and said, "Little cousin, you are still young. Your future achievements will definitely be higher than ours. Don't worry about us." "No." Qin Feiyang shook his head. Carrying Lu Zhejin, he slowly descended to the ground and placed Lu Zhejin down. "Little cousin, you..." Lu Zhejin was extremely anxious. "Big cousin, if I die in its hands later, you must find a way to snatch the castle. Because my friends are all inside." "And Chang Shui." Small Beast snatched Chang Shui on the first floor. "Chang Shui is the only thing my mother left for me. It is more important than my life. You must help me get it back. In addition, help me find my mother, grandfather, and uncle. Tell them I'm sorry." Qin Feiyang turned his back to Lu Zhejin and said, "What do you mean? Last words. What do I have to do with you? Why should I help you do these things? If you want to go, you should go by yourself." Lu Zhejin said angrily. "What relationship?" Qin Feiyang murmured. He turned to look at Lu Zhejin and said with a smile, "You are my family." After saying that, he took a step forward and rushed into the sky without looking back. "Brat, is it useless to provoke me?" Lu Zhejin shook his head and smiled bitterly. He looked up at Qin Feiyang's back and murmured, "Brat, you must survive. The things you entrusted to me are too heavy. I can't bear it." Swish. Qin Feiyang landed opposite Ice Dragon. Ice Dragon smiled and said, "This is your choice?" "That's right. They helped me and trusted me. If I had to choose, I would rather die for them than for them to die for me." Qin Feiyang roared. He activated the battle formula and threw a punch at Ice Dragon like a moth to a flame. "I would rather die for them than for them to die for me. How loyal." "Wait. Why is this character so similar to a certain someone?" Ice Dragon murmured. A cold light suddenly flashed in his eyes. A wisp of divine power swept out and streaked across the sky like lightning. Without any suspense, it directly penetrated Qin Feiyang's sea of qi. Purple gold dragon blood spurted out and dyed the void. "Little cousin. Young master." Qin Feiyang. Looking at this scene, Lu Zhejin, Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, and Old Man Qin couldn't help but roar. Even the mysterious lady had 2 lines of sorrowful tears in the corner of her eyes. Boom! At the same time, Ice Dragon released his divine power and imprisoned Qin Feiyang in the void. He laughed and said, "Brat, do you regret it? It's not too late to change your mind." The mysterious lady shouted, "Let him go, I'll die for him." Everyone looked at the mysterious lady in surprise. Qin Feiyang also had a look of disbelief. The mysterious lady was willing to die for him? Are you sure? Ice Dragon lowered his head and looked at the mysterious lady. "I'm sure. As long as you let him go, I'll immediately kill myself in front of you," the mysterious lady said. "Why? Didn't you want to kill me before? Why are you suddenly so nice to me?" Qin Feiyang said angrily. The mysterious lady lowered her head, her face full of struggle. "Tell me why," Qin Feiyang roared. The mysterious lady gritted her teeth and looked up at Qin Feiyang, saying, "Because that's not important." Ice Dragon suddenly opened his mouth and interrupted her, saying, "The reason is not important at all. What's important is that Qin Feiyang has already made his choice. No one can change it." Ice Dragon waved his claw and a wisp of divine power appeared. He looked at Qin Feiyang and said with a smile, "Brat, this is your own choice, don't blame me." Whoosh! The wisp of divine power suddenly broke through the air and swept towards Qin Feiyang's forehead. Seeing this, the mysterious lady Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, and Lu Jijing couldn't help but close their eyes in despair. Clang! Just as Qin Feiyang was about to die under the divine power, 2 deafening sounds suddenly exploded in Qin Feiyang's body. "What's that?" The Ice Dragon God's expression changed. Zhao Tailai and the others opened their eyes as well. They looked at Qin Feiyang in shock and confusion. Clang! The loud sounds continued as though something was trying to rush out of Qin Feiyang's body. At the same time, 2 terrifying auras burst out with a roar. This aura, Ice Dragon God's eyes widened. In the next instant, a 9-leaf fire lotus and a fiery red battle sword shot out of Qin Feiyang's body. They released a destructive aura. Qin Feiyang was slightly stunned. That was right. These were his other 2 battle souls. 9-leaf fire lotus, crimson sword soul. However, why would these 2 battle souls appear of their own accord? One should know. His sea of qi was destroyed, and he could no longer summon his battle souls. Zhao Tailai and the others could not figure this out as well. Clang! As soon as the 9-leaf fire lotus appeared, the 9 fire lotus leaves detached themselves and circled Qin Feiyang, forming a fire lotus barrier. Rumble! Ice Dragon God's divine power landed on the barrier. A shocking scene unfolded before everyone's eyes. The fire lotus barrier blocked Ice Dragon God's divine power. Everyone present on the scene was dumbfounded. Ice Dragon God's strength was clear for all to see. How could a mere battle soul block its divine power? Heavens! Was this a dream? At the same time, clang! Roar! The crimson sword soul hovered above Qin Feiyang's head. It shot out tens of thousands of sword qi toward Ice Dragon God. The flaming beast soul hidden in the sword soul roared as well, exuding a peerless aura. 9-leaf fire lotus, sword soul, beast soul. Ice Dragon God looked at the 3 battle souls, his eyes widened. Roar! The flaming beast soul roared at Ice Dragon God. It did not seem afraid at all. Instead, it seemed to be threatening and warning Ice Dragon God. "I see." Ice Dragon God studied the beast soul. A look of realization appeared on his face. He smiled apologetically and said, "I'm sorry. I've offended you." "What's going on?" "It's talking to the 3 battle souls. And it's apologizing?" The others were stunned. Their hearts were filled with disbelief. All this while, they had thought that the purple gold dragon soul was Qin Feiyang's most powerful battle soul. After all, they rarely saw Qin Feiyang activating the crimson sword soul and the 9-leaf fire lotus. Even after activating these 2 battle souls, they did not notice anything out of the ordinary. However, they did not expect Ice Dragon God to apologize as soon as the 2 battle souls appeared. It seemed like these 2 battle souls were not as simple as they seemed on the surface. "Are we saved?" Madam Mystic muttered. She looked at the crimson sword soul and the 9-leaf fire lotus in disbelief. Zhao Tailai smiled and said, "It seems like the young master has many secrets." Zhao Tailai nodded. The fact that the nine-leaf fire lotus could block Ice Dragon's divine power with ease was enough to prove that these battle souls were extraordinary. Most importantly, after spending so much time together, they only found out now that the young master was hiding two terrifying trump cards. In fact, Qin Feiyong was stunned as well. He had always thought that the Crimson Sword Soul and the Nine-Leaf Fire Lotus were not too outstanding. They were only slightly stronger than ordinary battle souls. However, he did not expect these two battle souls to be existences that even Ice Dragon God was afraid of. Qin Feiyong looked at the two battle souls and muttered, "It seems like I don't know you well enough. I'm sorry for neglecting you in the past." However, the Crimson Sword Soul, the Nine-Leaf Fire Lotus, and the Flame Beast Soul did not respond to Qin Feiyong. Their auras were locked onto Ice Dragon. "I've already apologized. What else do you want? You can't expect me to kneel, right? Although you're powerful, you're no match for me if we fight." Ice Dragon felt helpless. Clang! Ice Dragon's words seemed to have angered the Crimson Sword Soul. Thousands of sword energies formed a huge sword domain that shot toward Ice Dragon. "Are we really going to fight?" Ice Dragon muttered. A huge wave of divine power surged out like a torrent. It carried a destructive aura as it surged toward the sword domain. Roar! However, at this moment, the Flame Beast Soul moved as well. Chapter 1744. With a loud bang, the divine power and Flame Beast Soul immediately collapsed in the void. Evenly matched. This scene shocked everyone present so much that they couldn't close their mouths. But it was not over yet. The sword realm enveloped the Ice Dragon. The terrifying sword chi shattered the void. And the Ice Dragon's body was instantly covered in wounds. "You have really angered me." The Ice Dragon was furious. Its aura suddenly skyrocketed. With a crack, the sword realm shattered on the spot. "I showed mercy because I was giving you face. Do you really think I am afraid of you?" The Ice Dragon shouted. Swish! But suddenly, the golden small beast appeared next to the Ice Dragon without any warning. Qin Feiyong's body and mind tightened. Tang Hai and the others below also became nervous. "Is it the small beast that took Chang Shui away?" Lu Jiajin murmured. The golden small beast glanced at Qin Feiyong, then looked at the Ice Dragon and said, "Have you had enough?" The Ice Dragon said angrily, "No. Today I must teach them a lesson." The golden small beast's eyes turned cold and said, "Then do you want to teach Lord Frog a lesson too?" The Ice Dragon God was stunned and quickly said with a flattering smile, "Boss Frog, what are you talking about? How could I have the guts to do that?" "Then stop talking nonsense," the golden small beast said. The Ice Dragon sighed unwillingly and turned to look at Qin Feiyong. It snorted and said, "Boy, you are lucky. Next time don't let me see you again. Otherwise I will teach you a lesson." It waved its claws in the air, and Lu Jiajin, who was below, suddenly rose into the air uncontrollably and flew in front of it. "What are you doing? Put him down!" Qin Feiyong shouted. "Take care of yourself first. Because the battle here is not over yet." The Ice Dragon smiled playfully. "The battle is not over yet?" Qin Feiyong was stunned and said in a deep voice, "What do you mean?" However, neither the Ice Dragon nor the small beast answered him. The small beast stretched out its paw and pointed in the air. A streak of golden light shot into Qin Feiyong's forehead like lightning. "What are you doing?" Qin Feiyong said angrily. Ice Dragon grinned and said, "Boss Frog sealed your castle." "What? Sealed the castle?" Qin Feiyong was bewildered. "That's right. This emperor has already sealed the ancient castle in your forehead. You will never be able to take it out again. In other words, I won't be able to summon the castle to help you fight in the future. However, the other functions haven't disappeared. For example, time arrays. You, your friends, and your subordinates can also enter the castle." The golden small beast laughed. Why are you doing this?" Qin Feiyong said angrily. "A heaven-defying artifact like the castle shouldn't exist in this world. This emperor is already very merciful for not destroying it. So, you should be grateful to me." A cold laugh was heard all of a sudden. Then, 5 figures appeared out of thin air above everyone. Qin Feiyong and the others quickly looked up and their expressions changed. The leader was a middle-aged man with a tall and straight body. His face was full of vicissitudes. His hands were behind his back and he gave off a scholarly aura. Behind him were 4 old men. Their hair was white and their faces were full of wrinkles. However, the aura they exuded was extremely terrifying. "It's you, Chief Tower Master," the mysterious madam said in a deep voice. "Yes, it's us." The middle-aged man looked at the mysterious madam. His dark eyes were filled with killing intent. That's right. The 5 of them were from the Chief Tower. They were the Chief Tower Master, Wang Su, the former Deputy Tower Master of the Trading Pavilion, and the 2 old men who guarded the land of inheritance with Yi Shu. The Chief Tower Master, Wang Su, and the former Deputy Tower Master were all at the False God realm. However, the 2 old men had already stepped into the War God realm. 2 war gods and 3 false gods. For Qin Feiyang and the others who had their cultivation crippled, it was one disaster after another. "When did you guys come?" Qin Feiyang asked. Although he could enter the castle now, Tang Hai and Zhao Tailai were too far away from him. They couldn't rush over in a short time. Therefore, he could only stall for time and wait for Xuesong to repair his Sea of Qi. "We came a long time ago and have been hiding in the Space Divine item. However, you guys were fighting too fiercely. No one noticed us." The Chief Tower Master laughed. "Haha." The Imperial Preceptor suddenly laughed and said, "Qin Feiyang, you can't escape death in the end. If I die, you won't live either." Qin Feiyang sneered. "I said you were too young, but you didn't admit it. Long before entering the miracle, I had already formed an alliance with the Chief Tower," the Imperial Preceptor said. Qin Feiyang shook his head and said, "I have long known about your alliance with the Chief Tower." "Huh. You know?" The Imperial Preceptor raised his eyebrows. "Have you forgotten? Li Jian has already followed me. He has already told me about your matter." Qin Feiyang said. "This damn traitor." Killing intent surged in the Imperial Preceptor's eyes. "He is not a traitor. He has abandoned the dark for the light. Don't be too relaxed. What kind of person the Chief Tower Master is, I know better than you. Do you think he will care about your alliance?" Qin Feiyang sneered. The Imperial Preceptor's eyes trembled. He looked up at the Chief Tower Master and became nervous. The Chief Tower Master glanced at the Imperial Preceptor, then looked at Qin Feiyang and said, "Even my character has been seen so clearly. Sure enough, you are my good disciple." "Damn!" The Imperial Preceptor's heart sank. Qin Feiyang said, "Hearing your praise, why can't I be happy?" "Of course you can't be happy." The Chief Tower Master's eyes flashed coldly. In an instant he appeared in front of Qin Feiyang and kicked Qin Feiyang. Puff! Qin Feiyang immediately vomited blood and fell to the ground. Chief Pagoda Master took a step forward and stepped on Qin Feiyang's lower abdomen. He said with a grim smile, "I have always been good to you, but you actually helped Mu Jia to harm my Chief Pagoda. I can't wait to pull out your tendons and pull out your bones for a traitor like you." "Good to me." Qin Feiyang spat out blood and sneered, "Don't be so righteous. Even if I didn't help the Mu Jia, my end would be the same as Gong Sun Bei's." "The same as Gong Sun Bei?" "Holding great power and enjoying endless glory and wealth," the Chief Tower Master said. "So this is how you see Gong Sun Bei. He thought that he followed you because he coveted the power you gave him and the so-called wealth. Do you really understand Gong Sun Bei?" Qin Feiyang's face was full of disappointment. In life, what is more important than power and wealth? The Chief Tower Master sneered. "That's just what you think. Gong Sun Bei doesn't care about these things. All he wants is for the Forgotten Continent to be peaceful. He is using his life and freedom to protect all of this. And you? You only know how to use the power in your hands to satisfy your own selfish desires. I want to ask you, what right do you have to stand here and talk big? What right do you have to stand at the top of the Forgotten Continent and control the fate of billions of gods?" Qin Feiyang said angrily. "Strength is the right. Also, I want to tell you that not only the Forgotten Continent, but the Great Qin Empire will also be destroyed by me in the near future. And I will become the only ruler of the 2 continents. Those who follow me will prosper, and those who oppose me will die." Haha, the Chief Tower Master threw his head back and laughed wildly. His expression was filled with a thirst for power. What a wild ambition. Sooner or later, you will reap what you sow. Qin Feiyang said word by word. Reap what I sow? That will never happen. The chief tower master suddenly raised his head and looked at Wang Su and the other three standing in the void and shouted, "Kill them all. Leave no one alive." Yes. Chapter 1745. Kill them all. Qin Feiyang didn't have much of a reaction to the chief pagoda master's order, because it was all within his expectations. However, Emperor Hong and the imperial tutor were furious. Emperor Hong said in a deep voice, "Can't you have a little spirit of the contract? You're already so old and you still talk about the spirit of the contract with them? Ridiculous." The mysterious lady mocked. "It is indeed ridiculous. Or actually, don't make it sound so nice. If it were you today, you would also kill us all." Wang Su sneered, looked at the imperial tutor and Emperor Hong, stared at the imperial tutor and said, "I'll start with you." Swoosh. He immediately turned into a stream of light and flew towards the imperial tutor. The imperial tutor was furious to the extreme and roared, "Wang Su, you old thing, I curse you to die a horrible death." Wang Su. Wang Yuanshan, who was standing beside the Divine Lord, was slightly stunned and quickly turned to look at Wang Su. It was also at this moment. The former vice pavilion master took a step forward and charged towards Wang Yuanshan and the Divine Lord. Wang Yuanshan's face changed and hurriedly said, "Stop, I am Wang Yuanshan." Wang Yuanshan. Wang Su's body trembled and hurriedly stopped, lowering his head to look at Wang Yuanshan. The chief pagoda master and the two old men also looked at Wang Yuanshan in surprise. "So what if you're Wang Yuanshan?" However, the former vice pavilion master did not stop at all. His old eyes filled with killing intent. "Stop!" The chief pagoda master came back to his senses and hurriedly shouted. The former vice pavilion master was stunned and looked at the chief pagoda master suspiciously. Swoosh! Wang Su rushed in front of Wang Yuanshan, looked at the old face in front of him, and said excitedly, "Father, it's really you." Although Wang Yuanshan's appearance was very different from when he was young, the feeling of blood being thicker than water could not be erased. "Father." The former vice pavilion master was stunned. "It's really Wang Yuanshan," the chief pagoda master muttered, turned to look at the former vice pavilion master, and smiled. Wang Yuanshan is Wang Su's biological father. Wang Su entered the divine ruins this time to find Wang Yuanshan. So it's like that. The former vice pavilion master suddenly realized. So that's how it is. No wonder he looks so familiar. I almost couldn't recognize him. Madam Mystery mumbled. "Father, you're still alive." Tears streamed down Wang Su's face like a child as he looked excitedly at Wang Yuanshan. "Yes, I'm still alive." "So you've suffered all these years." Wang Yuanshan nodded, his old face full of love and self-blame. No. As long as father is still alive, no matter how hard and tiring it is, it will be worth it." Wang Su shook his head. Chief Pagoda Master released Qin Feiyang and walked to Wang Yuanshan's side. He bowed and said, "Greetings, Senior Wang." Wang Yuanshan sized up the Chief Tower Master and said with a smile, "I remember that when you left the Forgotten Continent, you were still just a young man. Now you've already become the Chief Tower Master and even stepped into the false god realm. Time really flies." Yeah. Back then, when old Senior Wang left, he was in the prime of his life. In the blink of an eye, he has already aged. "But Elder Wang, it seems that you still haven't aged." The Chief Pagoda Master smiled. "Alas, this old man has already become like this, but even you can't recognize me. How can I still be considered old? This old man will be satisfied if I can live for a few more years." Wang Yuanshan sighed. "Father, how did you survive in the miracle? Also, why are you following Mu Tianyang?" Wang Su asked. "It's a long story. Let's save you first," Wang Yuanshan said in a deep voice. "You Wang Su was stunned and said in surprise, "You met you?" "Yes." Wang Yuanshan nodded. "Where is she?" Wang Su asked hurriedly. "She's in the hands of the guardians. But now she should be in Qin Feiyang's hands." Wang Yuanshan turned to look at Qin Feiyang and shouted sternly, "Hand you over immediately." Wang Su and the others also looked at Qin Feiyang in unison. The Chief Tower Master said sternly, "How dare you kidnap you? You're crazy." Qin Feiyang said, "Don't be mistaken. I didn't kidnap you. I saved her from the giant python's hands. On the contrary, don't you feel ashamed of what you did? Wang Yuanshan flew into a rage out of humiliation and said, "Cut the crap. Hand Yu over immediately and this old man will give you a quick death." Qin Feiyong said, "There's no way I'll return Yu to you, especially an old fart like you. How dare you scold father? Unforgivable." Wang Su was furious. He took a step forward and grabbed Qin Feiyong's neck, hanging Qin Feiyong in the void. Then, he raised his other hand and slapped Qin Feiyong's face on the spot. Qin Feiyong's teeth were broken and blood spurted out. Wang Su shouted, "Hand Yu over immediately. Right now. Feiyong, let me out." Wang Yu's voice suddenly sounded in Qin Feiyong's mind. Qin Feiyong frowned. "I know that you're worried about me. But now grandfather is here. Wang Yuanshan definitely won't dare to do anything to me. Besides, he won't do anything to me. Let me out. I might be able to save you guys." Wang Yu's voice sounded again. Qin Feiyong sighed deeply. With a thought, Wang Yu appeared out of thin air. Wang Su immediately threw Qin Feiyong to the front of Wang Yu and asked dotingly, "Yu, are you all right?" "Grandfather, I'm fine. I'm with Qin Feiyong and the rest willingly." Wang Yu glanced at Qin Feiyong, who was dripping with blood, and smiled at Wang Su. "Willingly?" Wang Su was stunned and said in a deep voice, "Yu, did Qin Feiyong control you with a slave seal? Otherwise, how could you say such things?" "No." Wang Yu hurriedly waved her hand and said, "I like Qin Feiyong. I want to be with him." "Nonsense. What did I tell you before entering the divine site?" the chief pagoda master shouted. Wang Yu said, "You told me to get close to Qin Feiyong and wait for an opportunity to make a move on him. You still remember? Then tell me, what did you do? Just for those worthless personal feelings you abandoned the big picture?" the chief pagoda master said angrily. "Worthless? Uncle, is this how you view feelings?" "Yes, I admit that I didn't follow your orders, but I will never regret this feeling. Besides, Qin Feiyong saved my life more than once in the divine site," Wang Yu said. "Nonsense. Yu, don't forget that you're from the chief pagoda," Wang Su shouted. "But I'm also an ordinary woman. I yearn for love. I yearn to be with the person I love. Grandpa, there's no unresolvable grudge in this world. Can't you put aside those so-called prejudices of the past and accept Qin Feiyong?" Wang Yu exclaimed. "It's impossible in this lifetime." Wang Su shook his head. Wang Yu's face turned pale. With a plop, she knelt on the ground and said, "Since Grandpa can't accept Qin Feiyong, please let them go this time. As the price, I'm willing to cut off all ties with him and never contact him again." "You," Qin Feiyong's eyes trembled. "Bastard. Do you know how rare this opportunity is? You actually want us to let him go? You're simply obsessed. Wang Su, immediately imprison her for me," the chief pagoda master shouted. Wang Yu looked up at the chief pagoda master and Wang Su and said, "Uncle, Grandpa, if you don't agree, I'll die in front of you." "Preposterous. Preposterous. How dare you threaten us?" The chief pagoda master was furious, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. Seeing that the situation was not good, Wang Su raised his arm like lightning and slapped Wang Yu's back. Wang Yu fainted on the spot, because he understood the chief pagoda master's personality. If he did not knock Wang Yu out first, the chief pagoda master would definitely kill Wang Yu mercilessly. In other words, he was saving Wang Yu in disguise. Sigh. What a silly girl. Of all people to like, you have to like someone you shouldn't. You are destined to have no result. Wang Su lowered his head and looked at Wang Yu. With a wave of his hand, he sent Wang Yu into the spatial divine object. Then, he stood up and looked at Qin Feiyong, saying, "Although you are the person Yu likes, you are also my chief pagoda's enemy." Qin Feiyong was silent, but he roared in his heart, "Everyone, there's no time. Can you hurry up?" Wang Su took a deep breath, raised his arm, and pointed his index finger at Qin Feiyong's glabella. The power of the false god moved at his fingertips. An aura of death immediately drowned Qin Feiyong. "Although killing you will make Yu sad and even make her hate me, for the chief pagoda it doesn't matter. I also believe that after you die, Yu will slowly forget you and then start a new life. So go to hell." Wang Su's eyes flashed with killing intent, and the power of the false god burst out from his fingertips. Hurry, hurry, hurry! Qin Feiyong roared in his heart. Boom! All of a sudden, a terrifying aura erupted from his body. Thank you. At the same time, Qin Feiyong said secretly, and suddenly looked up at Wang Su. His eyes were cold, and then he raised his arm and shattered Wang Su's false god power with a palm. How is this possible? He actually repaired his sea of qi so quickly. Wang Su and the others' eyes widened in anger. Qin Feiyong slammed his palm on the ground again, and his whole body instantly soared into the sky and swept toward Tang Hai and Zhao Tailai like lightning. Stop him! The chief pagoda master came back to his senses and shouted. The two old men teleported, and in an instant, they were in front of Qin Feiyong. Divine power rolled out, and a huge barrier suddenly appeared. You think you can stop me? Qin Feiyong decisively activated the walk formula, and in an instant, he crossed the two old men. So fast. The two old men were shocked. However, you still don't have the ability to escape from under our noses. The two old men teleported at the same time. The barrier cut through the sky and fell from the sky, covering Qin Feiyong. Qin Feiyong's face sank, and he shouted, Everyone, please help my companion. Whoosh! The tens of thousands of cedars immediately rushed out from his body like a meteor. Before the barrier fell, they broke through the sky like lightning and entered the bodies of Zhao Tailai, Tang Hai, Yi Shu, Elder Qin, and the mysterious madam. Boom! Chapter 1746. What was that just now? The chief pagoda master, Wang Su, and the former deputy pagoda master looked at Zhao Tailai and the others with bewilderment. The speed of the cedar was too fast, and it became as small as a grain of rice. Therefore, they didn't catch the shape of the cedar. It's tens of thousands of cedar, the two old men said. They were war gods and their eyesight was far better than the chief pagoda master and the others. Naturally, they could see it clearly. Cedar. The chief pagoda master and the others were stunned when they heard this. Cedar was such an ordinary tree. How could it have such a terrifying life force? Moreover, looking at Qin Feiyong's previous expression and tone, he still had high hopes for these cedar. Wang Yuanshan said in a deep voice, They are not ordinary cedar. Everyone was stunned. Wang Su turned to look at Wang Yuanshan and asked suspiciously, Father, what do you mean? Wang Yuanshan said, They grew by absorbing the flesh and blood of the pseudo-god and gave birth to tree spirits. In a sense, every cedar is comparable to a pseudo-god. What? Wang Su and the others turned pale. Giving birth to tree spirits. Didn't this mean that it was a group of tree spirits? The most important thing was that they grew by absorbing the flesh and blood of the pseudo-god. Inside the enchantment, Qin Feiyong looked at Wang Yuanshan and said in surprise, You actually know about this? Wang Yuanshan said, Although I have never been to the Undead Mountain, Mu Tianyang and the others have. I see. Qin Feiyong suddenly understood. Wang Yuanshan had indeed never been to the Undead Mountain, because at that time, the Undead Mountain was still under the control of the Fengtian Palace and the Vangu League. People like Wang Yuanshan were not qualified to step into the Undead Mountain. However, when the Vangu League and the Tianyang Empire were destroyed, Mu Tianyang and the others fled into the Undead Mountain and naturally knew about the existence of these cedar trees. Behind, Wang Yuanshan followed Mu Tianyang and would definitely have heard about it. So, it was not strange that Wang Yuanshan knew the origin of the cedar trees. Wait! Suddenly, Wang Yuanshan seemed to have thought of something as he looked at Zhao Tailai and the others in surprise. The cedar entered their bodies. Suddenly, his gaze trembled as he shouted, Suer, quickly finish them off. Finish them off. What is it? Wang Su was shocked. Those cedars are helping them repair their dantian. Wang Yuanshan said furiously. Hearing this, a trace of panic instantly crawled onto Wang Su's old face. Zhao Tailai, Yi Shu, the mysterious lady, and Tang Hai were all gods of battle. If he waited for them to recover their dantian and regain their strength, the consequences would be. When he thought of this, he didn't dare to think any further. He shouted, Vice Pavilion Master, Chief Tower Master, hurry up and do it. The two pagoda masters nodded. They knew how serious the situation was. Do you know? But at this moment, Qin Feiyong's voice sounded. Wang Su and the others were taken aback. They looked suspiciously at Qin Feiyong. Why did he suddenly say that? You sacrificed herself in front of me to protect me. Big cousin even blocked the ice dragon's attack for me twice. I really have never hated myself as much as I do now. Why am I so useless? If I could be a little stronger, it wouldn't be them sacrificing themselves to save me. It would be me standing in front of them, protecting them and becoming their backer. I hate myself. Why am I so useless? Qin Feiyong lowered his head and muttered. There was a touch of melancholy between his brows that couldn't be dispelled. Feiyong, it's not your fault. After all, the ice dragon's strength is too strong. It's far beyond the range of what we can deal with. The mysterious lady said. Yes, it's too strong. So strong that it makes me despair. But I won't admit defeat. Sooner or later, I will make it pay the price, and that damn small beast. I want to become stronger. Stronger than anyone else. If God blocks me, I'll kill God. If devil blocks me, I'll kill devil. Qin Feiyong suddenly roared. And his aura suddenly erupted. What a lofty aspiration. However, with your current cultivation, can you break our barrier? The two old men sneered. Definitely. Qin Feiyong paused after every word, his gaze incomparably firm. Whoosh! The next moment, one by one, Qin Feiyong appeared one after another. 3,000 clones. The chief tower master and the others were surprised. Open your eyes wide and watch how I break your barrier. Qin Feiyong shouted, his hands forming seals. The 100 clones immediately stood in a circle with Qin Feiyong as the center, coldly staring at the barrier. At the same time, his hands quickly formed seals. Roar! Boom! For a moment, within the barrier, a mighty dragon's aura suddenly erupted. In the blink of an eye, 101 divine dragon seals appeared out of nowhere. Kill! Following closely, Qin Feiyong and the 100 clones roared in unison. The divine dragon seals broke through the air like dazzling meteors, carrying a destructive aura, and blasted toward the barrier. With a loud bang, the barrier suddenly distorted. The two old men turned pale with fright. They could actually shake the barrier. They hurriedly mobilized their divine power to stabilize the barrier, and shouted, quickly go and kill those people. The chief tower master and the others immediately rushed toward Zhao Tailai, and the others murderously. How can the will of Qin Feiyong, be blocked by the likes of you? Sovereign of 9 and 5. Emperor of all spirits. Qin Feiyong roared. Sovereign of 9 and 5, Emperor of all spirits, kill. The 100 clones also roared toward the sky. The golden leopard was sent flying on the spot. Its claw was lacerated, and blood flowed out. However, not only was it not afraid, but its fighting spirit was even higher. It laughed and said, the war god is indeed strong. He's not dead? The hook-nosed old man was surprised. He turned to look at the old man facing off against Qin Feiyong and shouted, this beast is not simple. Go and help the chief pagoda master and the others. Okay. The old man nodded. Do you think I don't exist? Qin Feiyong snorted coldly. 100 clones activated the Tao formula at the same time, and instantly surrounded the old man. This old man was about 1.7 meters tall, and his white hair was mottled. He looked quite funny, and his facial features were wrinkled together like a monkey's face. Get out of my way! The old man roared, and his divine power surged toward Qin Feiyong and the clones like a waterfall. In your dreams! Qin Feiyong sneered and raised his arm with the clones. Golden light burst out from his palm. Return formula. Boom! The golden light and the divine power met in the void, and a stalemate immediately ensued. The divine light was boundless and extremely dazzling. A mere pseudo-god can unleash such terrifying power. The monkey-faced old man was shocked. On the other side, the golden leopard could only be beaten up by the hook-nosed old man. But, no matter how the hook-nosed old man beat it, the golden leopard would always get back up, like a cockroach that couldn't be killed. At the same time, Wang Su landed beside Wang Yuanshan before the elder, who was about to kill Wang Yuanshan, and quickly sent him into the spatial divine object. The deity overlord that was with Wang Yuanshan was also sent into the spatial divine item. You're courting death. The old man who was chasing Wang Su and the two old men who were attacking Wang Yuanshan and the deity overlord were enraged. Killing Wang Yuanshan was the young master's order. Originally they were full of confidence, but in the end it ended in failure. This made them feel ashamed in their hearts, as they had failed the young master's trust. Ignoring the divine item in Wang Su's hand, the three of them charged toward Wang Su with overflowing hostility. But at this time, Mu Chongfeng and Mu Chongfeng also disappeared one after another. What's going on? Yu Huang and Li Jian stared at the air in bewilderment. Damn it, who is it? Suddenly, Cui Li's roar sounded. Beiming Yu Huang and Li Jian inclined their heads, only to see that even the imperial preceptor and Emperor Hong had vanished without a trace. There's still someone hiding in the dark. Yu Huang's eyes darkened, and his divine sense surged out. Chapter 1747. How could there be two space divine objects? Yu Huang was surprised. 2. Li Jian was taken aback and immediately released his divine sense. Sure enough, there were two space divine objects. He immediately roared, "Who is it? Don't be sneaky, come out." However, no one appeared and there was no response. How could this be? Qin Feiyong couldn't help but have a hint of hostility between his brows. Such a good opportunity had actually been spoiled by someone. Shattering the space divine objects. This emperor wants to see who is causing trouble? Yu Huang roared. "Don't worry about them." Qin Feiyong shouted. "What?" Yu Huang turned his head and looked at him suspiciously. Qin Feiyong said in a deep voice, "Now your mission is to protect Tang Hai and the others." However, before Qin Feiyong finished speaking, a mysterious force enveloped Tang Hai. Tang Hai's face changed, took out the Qinkuan bag, threw it to Li Jian who was closest to him, and shouted, "You must protect this Qinkuan bag." Because the two sarcophagi were both in the Qinkuan bag. The moment Tang Hai threw the Qinkuan bag, Tang Hai was taken away by the mysterious force. Damn it! Li Jian grabbed the Qinkuan bag and put it away, then immediately rushed towards Zhao Tailai with Yu Huang. But before they arrived, Zhao Tailai was also taken away by a mysterious force. Then, before they could react, the frozen Mu Tianyang also disappeared. Damn it, damn it! Yu Huang, Li Jian, Cui Li, and the 6 great elders were mad with anger. Fine. Let's deal with the chief pagoda master first. Qin Feiyong looked at this scene, took a deep breath, suppressed the anger in his heart and said, "You 3 damn things, prepare to die." Cui Li, Li Jian, and Yu Huang immediately rushed towards the chief pagoda master. 3 of the 6 great elders were already fighting with Wang Su. The other 3 great elders were also fighting with the deputy pavilion master. Boom! 3 against 1. This was a battle without any suspense. The chief pagoda master was directly suppressed and beaten, and in a short while, his body was covered in wounds and turned into a bloody man. Damn little beast, it's still so difficult to deal with. The chief pagoda master looked up at Qin Feiyong, his expression extremely gloomy. However, what made him even more puzzled was why the golden divine leopard was so resistant to beatings. One must know, the aquiline-nosed old man was a true god of war. In a battle between a false god and a war god, unless one was as abnormal as Qin Feiyong and Zhuge Mingyang, it would be impossible for the battle to continue like this. What? Zhe. The chief pagoda master looked at the center of the golden leopard's eyebrows and discovered that under the thick fur, there were strands of golden light. The chief tower master was bewildered. Could the reason why the golden divine leopard was so resistant to beatings be because of that mysterious golden light? Damn you, you still have the mood to look over there. Seeing the chief pagoda master looking at Qin Feiyong, Yu Huang flew into a rage, raised his tail and slapped the chief pagoda master's face. The chief pagoda master's face was instantly lacerated and flesh flew everywhere. At the same time, the hook-nosed old man who was fighting with the golden divine beast also fell into deep disbelief. What the hell was going on? Why couldn't he kill it? Suddenly, the hook-nosed old man also noticed the golden light between the golden divine leopard's eyebrows. It was just that it was covered by the hair, and if one didn't look carefully it would be hard to notice. A trace of suspicion flashed in his eyes, and he teleported forward, grabbed the hair between the golden divine leopard's eyebrows, and directly tore it off. Immediately, a golden mark was exposed. That mark was the size of a baby's palm, shaped like a shield, as if it was cast in gold. It was right in the middle of the golden divine leopard's eyebrows, exuding an obscure aura. What is it? Qin Feiyong and the monkey-faced old man also noticed the mark, and a trace of surprise appeared in their eyes. I didn't expect you to find it so quickly. The golden divine leopard raised his paw, touched the golden mark between his eyebrows, and looked at the hook-nosed old man and laughed. The hook-nosed old man's heart trembled. Hearing the golden divine leopard's words, to be able to last until now without dying, it must be because of this shield mark. This is the divine shield, a heaven-defying divine art. Once the divine shield is activated, this emperor will have an immortal body. No matter what you do, you can't kill this emperor. How is it? Isn't it very powerful? The golden divine leopard laughed proudly. Immortal body. The hook-nosed old man's eyes trembled. It was actually a heaven-defying divine art. Is it really a heaven-defying divine art? It feels quite similar to the battle art. However, to be able to withstand the attack of a war god and not die, although it's only an early-stage war god, it's already very powerful. Qin Feiyong murmured and turned to look at the monkey-faced old man, and said, even Junior Leopard is so strong, if I don't work harder, then I'll look too weak. The monkey-faced old man's pupils shrank. Is he preparing a big move? What kind of big move will it be? Boom! Qin Feiyong and the 100 incarnations waved their arms again, and golden light flooded the sky, like a tide, and rushed towards the monkey-faced old man's divine power. The stalemate was broken in an instant. The monkey-faced old man's divine power turned in the air, and drowned him. A miserable scream suddenly resounded through the sky. The monkey-faced old man was seriously injured by his own divine power, and there were wounds all over his body, and blood kept flowing out. A mere false god, facing a war god like me, did not use his full strength at the beginning. This is unforgivable. This old man will let you know the price of underestimating me. The monkey-faced old man was enraged to the extreme, and he madly rushed towards Qin Feiyong. On the other side, facing the provocation of the golden divine leopard, the hook-nosed old man's face was extremely gloomy, and said, although your divine power is powerful, it seems that it can only defend. That's right. The divine shield only has the ability to defend, and it can only be activated once a day, and it can only last for an hour each time. The golden divine leopard said. The hook-nosed old man was stunned and sneered. You actually told this old man the weakness of the divine shield. Are you that confident? Of course. Because in less than an hour you will die. The golden divine leopard grinned, showing his fangs. This old man will die? With your little cultivation, are you sure you're not joking? Divine shield, right? Immortal body, right? This old man will now let you know that any defense, in the face of absolute battle power, can be broken in an instant. The hook-nosed old man roared, and with a wave of his old hand, a giant hand covered the sky, and slapped towards the golden divine leopard. The terrifying divine power shattered the void and the earth. Obviously, this giant hand was evolved from the divine power. Boom! The giant hand slapped the golden divine leopard, and the golden divine leopard suddenly smashed into the ground below like a meteorite. Its body was badly mutilated, but in an instant it rushed out from the ground and shouted, although the divine shield will be broken in the face of absolute battle power, you still don't have the strength to do so. Damn beast. This old man will let you taste the feeling of living a life worse than death. The hook-nosed old man was completely furious. On one hand, it was because of the golden divine leopard's clamor. On the other hand, it was because he couldn't take down a pseudo-god level beast, which made him feel very sullen and embarrassed. At the same time, Wang Su, the deputy pavilion master, was not at a disadvantage in the face of the 6 elders' indiscriminate bombardment. The reason was that not only Wang Su, but even the former deputy pavilion master also had a divine weapon, and they also had a divine power. Obviously, this was what they had obtained in the miracle. As for the 6 elders, although they were all veteran pseudo-gods and had mastered divine powers, they did not have any divine weapons. One had to know. A divine weapon was completely enough to turn the situation around. However, the Chief Tower Master's situation was extremely bad. Chui Li and Li Jian had been confronting the Chief Tower Master head-on. Yu Huang was assisting from the side. In fact, in terms of threat, Yu Huang was more threatening than Chui Li and Li Jian, because it could change the color of its skin at any time, and it was born without any aura like a ghost. It was impossible to guard against. Most of the Chief Tower Master's injuries were caused by Yu Huang. Whoosh! Taking advantage of the Chief Tower Master's unpreparedness, Yu Huang seized the opportunity and launched another fatal sneak attack. Its body shrank to half a meter long and like an arrow, it went straight for the Chief Tower Master's lower abdomen. Although Yu Huang was hidden in the void, the Chief Tower Master was after all a pseudo-god. At this critical moment, he sensed the danger and hurriedly dodged to the side. Poof! Yu Huang pierced through his waist just a little bit more, and it would have hit his sea of qi. Damn beast, you have completely enraged me. The Chief Tower Master was covered in cold sweat. He looked down at the bloody hole in his waist and roared angrily. Accompanied by a clang, a 3-foot-long sharp sword appeared out of thin air. The sharp edge swept across the sky. The Chief Tower Master grabbed the sword and poured his pseudo-god power into it, slashing at Yu Huang. He actually has a divine artifact. Chui Li's expression changed, and he shouted, "Yu Huang, retreat." Retreat? Yu Huang smiled disdainfully. A golden rainbow suddenly flew out from its body and collided with the sword in the Chief Tower Master's hand. Sparks flew. Chui Li and Li Jian's faces were filled with shock. This was because they saw a gap on the Chief Tower Master's sword. This gap was created by the golden ray of light. What is that? The two of them were shocked. The Chief Tower Master's face was also filled with disbelief. The golden streak of light returned to beaming Yu Huang, revealing her true appearance. It was a golden scale. It was the size of an adult's palm, flashing with golden light and piercing to the bone. It also exuded an extremely pure dragon's aura. Sensing the aura of the scale, Qin Feiyang was stunned. He hurriedly turned his head to look, and his body trembled slightly. It was indeed it. That's right. The scale floating in front of Yu Huang was Wu Jiao's divine artifact, the dragon's reverse scale. But why was the dragon's reverse scale in Yu Huang's hands? Wait a minute. After bidding farewell to Wu Jiao on the way back, Yu Huang suddenly told him that he had something to do and asked him to go back first. Could it be that Yu Huang went back to Wu Jiao at that time and asked for the dragon's reverse scale? That should be the case. It was no wonder that beaming Yu Huang would be so confident when talking about the Imperial Preceptor and Emperor Hong. Chapter 1748. Qin Feiyang had experienced the power of the dragon's reverse scale before. It was comparable to the divine phoenix blade. With this divine artifact, Yu Huang was like a tiger that had grown wings. However, how could Wu Jiao be willing to give the dragon's reverse scale to Yu Huang? Could it be that Yu Huang stole it when Wu Jiao wasn't paying attention? This bastard. When the battle is over, I must interrogate him. Qin Feiyang glared at Yu Huang angrily. He calmed down and continued to fight with the monkey-faced old man. You actually damaged my divine artifact. The Chief Pagoda Master was still in disbelief, unable to recover for a long time. That broken sword of yours, how can it be compared to this Emperor's reverse scale? Yu Huang was extremely disdainful. As the false god's power poured in, the dragon's reverse scale released a dazzling golden light. It pierced through the sky and attacked the Chief Pagoda Master again. The Chief Pagoda Master sensed the killing intent and quickly raised his sword in front of his chest to block. Immediately, a deafening metallic sound exploded. The dragon's reverse scale slammed into the sword, breaking it on the spot. The terrifying force also sent the Chief Pagoda Master flying. Blood gushed out of his mouth. How is this possible? It actually broke the divine artifact. The Chief Pagoda Master was stunned. He suddenly looked up at the dragon's reverse scale and said in shock and anger, "What level is that divine artifact? You can't even tell what level it is? How ignorant." Yu Huang looked at him contemptuously. He then looked at Chui Li and Li Jian and said, "This emperor will go help the 6 elders. You guys quickly finish the battle." Okay. The two nodded. Yu Huang immediately turned around and looked at Wang Su and the former deputy pagoda master. His eyes flashed with killing intent. He hid in the void and silently rushed toward Wang Su. Chui Li and Li Jian also rushed toward the chief pagoda master. Haha, the chief pagoda master suddenly laughed. Yu Huang appeared in the void and looked at the chief pagoda master suspiciously. Chui Li and Li Jian also raised their eyebrows and looked at the chief pagoda master in confusion. The pagoda lord retracted his laughter. He stared at Yu Huang and Li Jian. Did you two think that the battle would end just like this? What else? Yu Huang said. Boom! All of a sudden, a monstrous sharpness roared out from the main body of the tower. Yu Huang and Li Jian were bewildered. What was with this sharp aura? Look carefully for me, Chief Pagoda Master said word by word. After he finished speaking, he waved his hand, and a ray of light flew out from between his eyebrows and floated in front of him. It was a halberd. It was 3 meters long, and its entire body was as black as ink. The tip of the blade emitted a shocking sharpness. This aura. Yu Huang's pupils contracted. The halberd's aura was on par with the dragon's reverse scale. The real battle begins now. The chief pagoda master roared. His false divinity power surged and fused with the halberd. Immediately, a black mist emerged from the halberd. Immediately after, the black mist turned into countless sharp blades, densely packed together, and attacked Yu Huang and Chui Li. Interesting. Yu Huang laughed and looked at Chui Li and Li Jian. You two go help the 6 elders. I'll kill him. Can you do it? Chui Li frowned. Nonsense. With you two here, I can't use my full strength, Yu Huang said. All right. Chui Li and Li Jian looked at each other, nodded helplessly, and flew towards the 6 elders. With the addition of Chui Li and Li Jian, even though Wang Su and the former deputy pavilion master had divine artifacts in their hands, the pressure instantly multiplied. After Chui Li and Li Jian left, Yu Huang activated the dragon's reverse scale and directly attacked the sharp blades formed by the black mist without fear. However, compared to the high-spirited Yu Huang, Qin Feiyang seemed a little absent-minded at this moment. While fighting with the monkey-faced old man, he was also paying attention to the mysterious lady and Yi Shu. Originally, he thought that the 2 people hiding in the dark would also make a move on the mysterious lady and Yi Shu. However, after so long there was no movement at all. Why was that? They saved the state preceptor and Mu Changfeng, kidnapped Tang Hai and Zhao Tai, but did not make a move on the mysterious lady and Yi Shu? Wait, could it be because I see? Qin Feiyang understood. The 2 people hiding in the dark were definitely not on the same side. He was not wrong. One was the state preceptor's man, the other was Mu Tianyang's man. After saving the state preceptor and the others, these 2 people kidnapped Zhao Tai and Tang Hai, obviously for the 2 sarcophagi. In other words, Tang Hai and Zhao Tai were their bargaining chips in exchange for the sarcophagi. Looks like I have to end the battle as soon as possible, Qin Feiyang muttered. Although Mu Tianyang was now frozen, no one knew when he would break out of the ice. But now the ice dragon was gone. No one could threaten the blood blade. If the blood blade was not sealed by the small beast, the situation would change when Mu Tianyang broke out. Qin Feiyang looked at the monkey-faced old man. The god of war. To be honest, he was not confident that he could kill the god of war. However, it was not impossible. A cold light flashed in his eyes as the divine phoenix blade appeared. The 3 false god powers flowed into the divine phoenix blade like a tide. Clang! The divine phoenix blade immediately released a destructive blade aura that was a few hundred feet long. It split the sky and charged toward the monkey-faced old man. Humph! The monkey-faced old man snorted and used a divine art to counter the blade aura. Boom! The 2 of them exploded in the void. If you were also a god of war, I would have been killed by you. Unfortunately, you are not. Even if you have some heaven-defying means, you can't defeat me. Because the difference between a god of war and a false god is not something that can be made up for by external forces. The monkey-faced old man's body shook. Following a sharp cry, a ferocious bird flew out from behind him. It was a huge black rock with 2 black wings on its back. Its body was so huge that it covered the sky. Die under this old man's battle soul, the monkey-faced old man roared. The huge rock spread its wings and charged toward Qin Feiyang like a mountain. Its ferocious aura was earth-shattering. Qin Feiyang felt a great sense of danger. Qin Feiyong's eyes darkened. He used the incantation of returning with the 100 clones again. The golden light went against the current and charged toward the huge rock. Don't even think about it. The monkey-faced old man's eyes turned cold. His divine power surged out and formed a giant shield that blocked the golden light. At the same time, the huge rock turned in the air and rushed to Qin Feiyong's back like lightning. It charged toward Qin Feiyong from behind, giving him a taste of his own medicine. The giant shield only lasted for less than half a breath before it was bounced back by the golden light and blasted toward the monkey-faced old man. The monkey-faced old man was immediately sent flying and blood spurted out. However, just as the monkey-faced old man was seriously injured, the huge rock crashed into Qin Feiyong's back. In a flash, Qin Feiyong activated the battle incantation. But even with the protection of the battle incantation, he was like a meteorite that smashed into the ground below. Following an earth-shattering explosion, a bottomless pit immediately appeared. The 100 clones also dissipated. Young master. The golden leopard was shocked. The hook-nosed old man sneered. You'd better take care of yourself. That's true. With the protection of the battle incantation, what is this emperor worried about? The golden leopard muttered in its heart. It raised its head to look at the hook-nosed old man and laughed. Soon, you won't be able to be proud anymore. This old man will wait. The hook-nosed old man punched the golden leopard's head, and the golden leopard also smashed into the ground below. But in the next moment, it rushed up into the sky again, covered in blood. The pain all over its body made it grimace in pain. To be able to get up like this, is the divine shield really that powerful? The monkey-faced old man looked at the golden divine overlord in disbelief. He wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and lowered his head to look at the deep pit below. Since it hadn't appeared yet, it should be dead. He turned around and prepared to kill the golden leopard. Swoosh! This time, a bloody figure rushed out from the deep pit. Who else could it be but Qin Feiyong? He's not dead. The monkey-faced old man's eyes widened. He looked at the golden leopard and then looked at Qin Feiyong. He couldn't help but mutter in his heart, are these guys the reincarnation of cockroaches? Sigh. Qin Feiyong stood in the air and scanned the battlefield around him. Suddenly, he let out a long sigh. His expression extremely dejected. Even this old man's war soul can't kill you. Shouldn't you be proud? What are you sighing for? The monkey-faced old man frowned. Other than facing the small beast and the ice dragon, and the last time I obtained the Heart of Source, this is the most embarrassing time I have ever been. Don't you think I should sigh? Qin Feiyong said. The monkey-faced old man raised his eyebrows and said, according to what you said, this old man should be proud? Qin Feiyong said, to be able to force me to this extent, you should indeed feel proud. What a joke. This old man is a dignified war god. Defeating you is a matter of course. The monkey-faced old man was furious. The divine power roared in the sky and blasted towards Qin Feiyong. Qin Feiyong actually did not counterattack and was once again blasted into the deep pit by the divine power. Without Changshui and the castle, am I so weak? Although the opponent is a war god, although the difference between a false god and a war god is like heaven and earth, even Zhuge Mingyang can suppress a war god. Why can't I do it? Could it be that Zhuge Mingyang is really better than me? And big cousin, he can be so strong, why can't I be like him? In the deep pit, Qin Feiyong lay on the ground, his entire body bleeding, looking at the sky above. His eyes were unprecedentedly confused. He had mastered the Zhan, Sun and Huan, but he still couldn't defeat a war god. Was this really a heaven-defying divine art? I'm really a useless person. Qin Feiyong slowly raised his arm and covered his face that was covered in blood. His face was twisted in pain and he had the urge to cry. Pa! Suddenly, he slapped him hard across the face. Qin Feiyong, what are you thinking? Is this all you've got? In the face of such a setback, are you going to admit defeat? How can you defeat the ice dragon, defeat the small beast, defeat Mu Tianyang? But I'm really tired. Small beast, ice dragon, Mu Tianyang, demon ancestor, Emperor Hong, state teacher. I really want to lie down like this, motionless and not think about anything. He slowly closed his eyes and instantly felt that everything was calm. Am I going to give up just like that? Suddenly, Chapter 1749. You're here. Qin Feiyang said telepathically. He was all too familiar with this voice. It was the mysterious voice that had appeared twice before. How can I not come when you're already like this? The mysterious person said. What's wrong with me? Qin Feiyang asked. What do you think? It wasn't easy for you to come this far. Don't you think it's a pity to give up? The mysterious person said. It's a pity, Qin Feiyang murmured inside. I haven't given up. I'm just too tired. All kinds of pressure are suffocating me. Who in this world doesn't have pressure? The mysterious person said. Yes, everyone has pressure. But are there pressure as great as mine? Mother, grandpa, big cousin, Chang Shui, the woman I love, they're all waiting for me to save them. Mu Tianyang, the fiend ancestor, the grand tutor, and the chief tower master are also waiting for me to solve them. And my family, Emperor Hong, not only did he not help me, but he also regarded me as an enemy. What did I do wrong? Why did the heavens give me so much suffering? Can't they make it easier for me? Qin Feiyang said. The mysterious person pondered for a moment and sighed. I admit that it's unfair for you to bear so many burdens. Moreover, you're still so young. No matter how good your temperament is, there will be times when you're tired. It's completely understandable. Thank you, Qin Feiyang said. To be honest, he really could not bear it anymore. However, running away won't solve the problem. You'll have to face these things eventually, the mysterious person said. I know. I just can't figure out why my enemies are so powerful. I can't figure it out even more. The Red Sword Soul and the Nine-Leaf Fire Lotus are clearly so powerful. Why can't I unleash their strength? Can't war souls be controlled at will? But why do I feel like these war souls of mine are all bosses? It depends on their mood whether they want to unleash their power or not. Qin Feiyang said bitterly. The Red Sword Soul and the Nine-Leaf Fire Lotus aren't ordinary war souls to begin with. You can't unleash their full strength now because your cultivation is not high enough. The same goes for the 6-word divine formula. You could say that the 6 words divine formula is currently in an extremely awkward state. The mysterious man said. Is it because of my cultivation? Qin Feiyang asked. Yes. In order to unleash the true power of the 6 words divine formula, one must have the support of divine power. But now you only have the power of a false god. When you become a divine warrior, the fangs of the 6 words godly formula will naturally be revealed. Don't doubt the power of the 6 words divine formula. Think about it, with your current false god cultivation base, you can compete with a war god at the initial stage using the 6-word godly formula. Isn't this enough to prove the extraordinariness of the 6-word godly formula? As for your first question, why are all your enemies so powerful? Actually, you can think of it this way. Isn't it because of the strength of these enemies that makes you different from others? The mysterious man said. You really know how to comfort people. Qin Feiyang smiled bitterly. I'm telling the truth, not comforting you. To be honest, fighting with a war god is indeed too difficult for the current you. However, you're not fighting alone. You have subordinates. They are all loyal to you and are even willing to give up their lives for you. You also have relatives other than Emperor Hong. They are also silently supporting you. For example, Lu Jijin. Didn't he stand in front of you and sacrifice himself to save you? The mysterious man smiled. Big cousin, Qin Feiyang muttered. Quickly cheer up. No matter what setbacks you encounter, don't lose confidence in yourself. Think about the battle between you and Emperor Hong. He's also a war god. Didn't you also defeat him? The mysterious man said. Emperor Hong wasn't defeated by me. It was the ancestor statue that intimidated him. At that time, if I didn't evolve into the 9-5 sovereign, the outcome would be different. Qin Feiyang sighed. I won't deny this point. But no matter what, he was still defeated by your hands. This means that you indeed have the ability to fight with a war god. Quickly get up and finish this battle that belongs to you. Your potential is far more than that. What you need to do is not to hate fighting, but to enjoy fighting. Because only by enjoying fighting, only by constantly fighting, can you sublimate in battle and stimulate your true potential. Fighting is the fastest shortcut to increase one's strength. As for the ancient castle being sealed, it's actually a very good opportunity for you. The mysterious man said. Opportunity? Qin Feiyang was suspicious. Yes, before the ancient castle was sealed, when you encountered a powerful enemy, the first thing you thought of was the ancient castle? Of course you're not wrong. Because if it were anyone else, they would do the same. However, the enemy has to be dealt with personally to have a sense of accomplishment. Now that the ancient castle is sealed, and the escape route is cut off, you can only rely on yourself to fight. Isn't this a chance for me to become stronger and transform? Go ahead and do it. You can give up your life, but you must not leave any regrets in life. The mysterious man said. Enjoy the battle. Keep fighting. Don't leave any regrets in life, Qin Feiyang muttered to himself. He slowly moved his big hand away and looked at the sky above. The confusion in his eyes gradually dissipated. After knowing you for so long, I still don't know how to address you. Can you tell me your name? Qin Feiyang said. The mysterious man smiled. You can call me the Shadowless. The Shadowless? Without a trace, indeed it suits you. Thank you. Thank you for always accompanying me. Qin Feiyang smiled. I didn't accompany you all the time. The mysterious man said. Is that so? Then how did you know about the battle between me and Emperor Hong? Qin Feiyang said. This. The mysterious man was a bit speechless. All right, you can rest assured. I won't ask about your identity, and I won't let you show up. Qin Feiyang said. The future is long. Sooner or later we will meet. The mysterious man smiled, and his voice faded. Huff! Qin Feiyang took a deep breath, exerted a little force and jumped up from the ground. His eyes flashed with a cold light as he muttered, My battle, let me end it. Swoosh! Immediately, he was like a divine rainbow rushing upwards. High up in the sky, the monkey-faced old man lowered his head to look at the deep pit. Seeing that Qin Feiyang did not appear for a long time, a sneer crept up on his face and said, He must be dead this time. He turned around and prepared to kill the golden divine leopard again. Boom! However, at this time, in the deep pit, a monstrous battle intent suddenly erupted. And the dark-faced old man raised his eyebrows and lowered his head to look at the deep pit again. He was actually not dead. This vitality was a bit too tenacious. The next moment, killing intent surged in his eyes. Divine power rolled out like a waterfall, blasting towards the deep pit. Boom! Crack! The earth crazily shattered and collapsed. A series of loud sounds shook the heavens and the earth. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, dust flew, and a terrifying aura filled the air. Young master! Chui Li and the others heard the commotion and turned to look at the place where the monkey-faced old man bombarded. Their expressions all changed. The golden divine leopard could not help but worry. Although Qin Feiyang's ability was very strong, in the face of such indiscriminate bombardment, could he really withstand it? Bastard, how dare you ignore my existence again? Seeing that the golden divine leopard only cared about Qin Feiyang's safety, the hook-nosed old man could not help but be furious. Boom! The divine art appeared and blasted towards the golden divine leopard. The golden divine leopard smashed into the ground, and its body was almost torn apart. However, it did not die. Bastard, bastard! The hook-nosed old man was so angry that he flew into a rage. He had tried all kinds of methods, and the golden divine leopard was indeed seriously injured. But this guy just did not die. The golden divine leopard climbed up in a sorry state and continued to look at the deep pit. Boom! Suddenly, an aura from weak to strong continuously surged out. I knew it. You won't die so easily. The golden divine leopard grinned. The owner of this aura was Qin Feiyang. Sensing Qin Feiyang's aura, it was completely relieved. It looked up at the hook-nosed old man and smiled. Old man, enough of your arrogance. The hook-nosed old man was surprised. Enough of your arrogance. It's my turn to show my power. The golden divine leopard roared, and a monstrous aura roared out from its body. In an instant, in the sky the wind and clouds surged, and strange phenomena appeared. The hook-nosed old man looked up at the sky, and his expression gradually changed. That's right. This is the phenomenon of breaking through to the war god realm. The golden divine leopard roared. Its aura surged crazily. The aura of a false god was also rapidly transforming. Damn it! It's actually breaking through at this time. The hook-nosed old man roared in exasperation. Divine power and divine arts were thrown at the golden divine leopard as if they were free. The golden divine leopard immediately faced the same situation as Qin Feiyang. It was bombarded indiscriminately and blasted tens of thousands of feet into the ground. "You can't kill me. Break through!" The golden divine leopard roared. Its aura soared unstoppably to the war god realm. A pure divine aura rushed out in all directions like a volcanic eruption. "I said that I would be able to get rid of you in less than an hour. Be prepared to face it." The golden divine leopard took a step forward and teleported in front of the hook-nosed old man. Its thick claws surged with divine power and struck out. The void immediately collapsed, shattering the void and teleporting. This was the best proof that the golden divine leopard had become a true god. Damn it, damn it!" The hook-nosed old man roared and punched out angrily. Boom! The fist and the claw met in an instant. The hook-nosed old man was sent flying on the spot. The skin on his arm was lacerated and blood splattered in the sky. Such terrifying strength! He was greatly shocked. This is the strength of a war god. It's simply much stronger than a false god. The golden divine leopard looked at its claw with an indescribable expression of excitement. All of a sudden, it looked up at the hook-nosed old man and sneered. "Come, let me see what you've got." Shwa! It teleported and pounced toward the hook-nosed old man fiercely. "You've just broken through. What are you being so arrogant for?" The hook-nosed old man said angrily. Boom! Chapter 1750. It was the golden divine leopard's intention to fight with the hook-nosed old man. Because the battle between war gods was very terrifying, it wanted to make room for Qin Feiyang to fight. At the same time, watching the battle between the golden divine leopard and the hook-nosed old man, the dark-faced old man's face gradually darkened. If this continued, it would be extremely disadvantageous for their main pagoda. He clenched his fists. He had to get rid of Qin Feiyang, because Qin Feiyang was the core of this group of people. As long as Qin Feiyang died, these people would lose their spiritual support. Boom! The monkey-faced old man retracted his gaze and stared down, grinning sinisterly. "Go to hell, go to hell!" Divine power continued to pour down. The dust that filled the sky had already covered thousands of miles of land. Suddenly, along with a furious roar, Qin Feiyang's entire body was drenched in blood. He charged out of the dust and smoke while resisting the divine power that covered the sky and earth. What? The dark-faced old man was shocked. He originally thought that even if Qin Feiyang could survive, he would definitely be hiding in the castle. However, he didn't expect that the result would be that he would rush up against his divine power. The real battle has only just begun. Qin Feiyang's eyes were like torches, carrying a monstrous battle intent as he charged towards the monkey-faced old man without fear. Why do you still have such a terrifying fighting spirit even now?" The monkey-faced old man roared, his divine power like a waterfall, sweeping across the sky. "Because I'm enjoying the battle." Qin Feiyang smiled brightly. All kinds of divine arts evolved, covering the sky and covering the earth. Rumble! Heaven and earth shook, and a destructive aura enveloped all directions. "Enjoying the battle," the monkey-faced old man muttered and roared. "Who would enjoy the battle? It will only make people feel disgusted." He also evolved a divine art and blasted towards Qin Feiyang. Qin Feiyang activated 3,000 incarnations. Divine Dragon Art, Fire Phoenix Art, Void Returning Art, Eclipse Moon. These various divine arts continued to appear out of thin air, crazily attacking. Boom! Although he was still at a disadvantage with the protection of the battle art, the bloodline power of the purple gold dragon blood, and the flame of life, his physical body was equivalent to an immortal body. Indeed, as the Shadowless Man had said, the ceiling of the castle was an opportunity for him, because he had no other choice but to fight with all his might. The Xing character formula, returning character formula, battle symbol formula. These heaven-defying celestial arts, in addition to his immortal body, were enough to make him invincible. Rumble! The battle became more and more intense. He did not know how much blood he had lost, but he didn't seem to notice. Gradually, His state of mind had changed. He no longer felt disgust and disgust. He truly began to enjoy this kind of battle. What's going on? Why did he suddenly change into a different person? The monkey-faced old man was even more shocked. Although he had always had the upper hand, there was always a feeling of oppression in his heart. Furthermore, gradually he became fearful, weak, and flustered. Whoosh! He teleported, trying to distance himself and calm himself down. However, Qin Feiyang was like a ghost as he followed closely behind. This was the power of the Xing character formula. In terms of speed, he was not much slower than the monkey-faced old man. It turns out that this is the feeling of enjoying a battle. Qin Feiyang's smile became more and more brilliant. At this moment, his mentality and state were completely different from before. Even when facing a war god, he did not feel the slightest pressure. What happened? Why is there such a big change all of a sudden? Yi Shu and the mysterious lady had already gathered together. Looking at the current Qin Feiyang, Yi Shu had a look of suspicion. Enjoying the battle, the mysterious lady murmured with a smile, "This kid is really giving me more and more headaches. Yeah. At this rate, maybe he can still win," Yi Shu said. The mysterious lady nodded and suddenly asked, "Yi Shu, do you like fighting?" "No." Yi Shu shook his head without hesitation. "I don't like it either. But do you know? There is one person who likes it." The mysterious lady said. "Who?" Yi Shu was suspicious. "The Qin Emperor. Like the current Qin Feiyang. He also enjoys everything that fighting brings. Therefore, he created the Divine Dragon technique." The mysterious lady said. "What? The Divine Dragon technique was created by him during the battle?" Yi Shu was surprised. "That's right." The mysterious lady nodded. "Those who enjoy the battle." Yi Shu looked at Qin Feiyang, shook his head, and said with a smile, "I have to say, these two people are both monsters." Boom! At this moment, the figures of Qin Feiyang and the monkey-faced old man could no longer be seen. The two were like lightning, constantly colliding in the void. The mysterious lady asked, "Yi Shu, if it were you, can you defeat the current Qin Feiyang?" "I don't know." Yi Shu shook his head. As a war god, he actually said such words with no confidence. It was very inconceivable. But the mysterious lady did not laugh at him. Because facing the current Qin Feiyang, she also had no confidence. Impossible. Even if he has a heaven-defying technique, he shouldn't be able to fight the war god to this extent. In the void not far away, there was a space-divine object floating. It was a secret room. At this moment, Mu Qing stood in the middle of the secret room, looking at the scene in front of her. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. Behind her, Mu Changfeng and Mu Changyun were also dumbfounded. "Humph! What's so strange about this? Although you have opened the omniscient eye, you're still far from the young master." A cold snort was heard. Mu Qing raised her eyebrows, turned around, and saw a masked man with his arms crossed, leaning against the wall, his face full of mockery. That's right. This man was Tang Hai. And in the other corner of the secret room, there was an ice sculpture. It was the frozen Mu Tianyang. Obviously. Previously it was Mu Qing who kidnapped Tang Hai and rescued Mu Tianyang and Mu Changfeng. Mu Qing looked at Tang Hai and said gloomily, "Don't forget your current situation." "Situation? What situation? Are you a prisoner? You don't dare to kill me, you know that." Tang Hai said lightly. Mu Qing nodded and said, "Yes, I don't dare to kill you, but I can't allow you to be presumptuous." "Am I presumptuous? I'm just telling the truth. You really can't compare to the young master," Tang Hai said. Mu Qing's face was gloomy. Mu Changfeng frowned, looked at Mu Qing and said, "Qing'er, don't talk nonsense with him." After saying that, Mu Changfeng looked at Tang Hai again. Murderous intent flashed in his old eyes, and said in a deep voice, "You'd better restrain yourself." Tang Hai smiled coldly, looking up at the battlefield in the image. Although Tang Hai didn't speak again, that contemptuous look made Mu Qing extremely unhappy. Her fingers clenched constantly, making cracking sounds. Gotcha! Suddenly, a shattering sound was heard. This sound was not very loud, but when it fell into the ears of Mu Qing and Mu Changfeng, it was like a thunderclap. The three of them quickly looked in the direction of the sound, and saw that the ice that sealed Mu Tianyang had a crack on it.